Hi, everyone. We'll start this talk in a few minutes when some people show up, probably like 5 minutes in as usual. And this is all off of the few few conversations I've had recently. And there's such a number of logical fallacies that people present. So we'll wait. I'll wait until some people show up. So anybody that doesn't know how these work, you can probably scroll into about 5 minutes for the people that come here in the future before I start talking. And then we'll dig in. Hmm. This should be a fun one. We will get into all of the ancient philosophy. We'll get into philosophies as well. Sometimes on my broadcasts, I have people that are probably like 101 students of philosophy, maybe 200 level students, and they tend to try their hand at arguing. And I don't understand why people argue. They argue from a point of I don't know. It's interesting. It always reminds me of people that pay to go to college to be handed, to pay like tens of thousands of dollars to pay to get into debt, to be told how things work, and then yet it's the kind of people that have the audacity to come in and tell the teacher they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. And I find that humorous. Like, why pay for the education if you don't want it? Why involve yourself in a system that if you don't believe in it, then you should pave your own path and use your own mind. That's kind of why I put that picture that MC Escher put on the front, because I think imagination is as important as anything in this world, and it kind of it gives way to who cares what is logic? Who cares? Because the world is made of something crazier than logic. There's really, it appears logical in front of you, but as Master of Earth clearly points out in a lot of his videos, there's no cause of anything. And what he really means is you don't know the cause of anything, because you're not sitting outside of the realm of, we're in right here, this three-dimensional thing. We're in the realm of the cause. Like we're the end of the thought process. We're the end of all the gears and structures and things that are going on. Outside of your knowledge base is where things are occurring to present you with whatever's in front of you. You think there's some logical pathway, some linear order to get from here to here to here to here, but that's not how it really works, because this realm is completely imagination and completely built on the mind. This is why we talk about metaphysics, because the mind is more important than anything. It just so happens that we're not in an illusion, we're not in a dream, we're just in a realm that the way the things are put together and structured, the reality, the way it's built. Yeah, you can go and design out on a blueprint how to build a building, and so that's why we perceive that way, that we're doing something with our hands. We built a building, like, see, we did that, but prior to that, the thought came first. The imagination of the architect had to come first, and so that's what's going on behind the scenes. Like, people that can build a building, they don't know the architect's mind, and that would be saying, what is the mind of God? But nonetheless, there is, in this realm we live in, quite a bit of logical fallacy that occurs, quite a bit, and an overwhelming amount, and you run into this on a day-to-day basis. I think this is why people that went through the self-induced hermetic arts, meaning they took it upon themselves to study and research and internalize and understand their own mind. It's hard for introverts to go and have pointless, meaningless banter with idiots in public, because talking to people, you realize there is no depth to their thought, and there's no future foresight to their thought. There's no they're thinking from, what's up, Travis Cup? They're thinking from a very interesting place, and as usual, I can start it with the idea of capitalism being a disease that causes narcissism. And capitalism as a disease causing narcissism is to say that the corporate mindset, which is death cult, leads people to not understand what death is, nor getting out of body, what spirituality is, and so people fear things and they consume. So that fear and consumption. What's up, Mary Curvy? So that fear and consumption is well and alive. But in that, for people to consume things in this realm, it's built off of people using logical fallacies at every turn. But because people don't understand that they're occurring, people are oftentimes taken, what's up, Ahava, taken advantage of because of all of our inabilities to even, conceive that it's occurring. Like, people being sold things through the television, being sold, things in the supermarket. They put things in a certain place on the shelves, for the kids when they're walking by, and the colors and the sounds and all. It's all been studied and it's put there, and people don't even recognize that it's occurring. And in the same way, you have conversations with people, and sometimes there's just no way. There's no way to get by people's in this realm as we're dealing with this, face to face, talking to people. They're logical fallacies with everything they do. So we got a few people here now, so we'll just dig into a couple of them. I mean, the first one is the straw man argument. I mean, this is completely all day, every day, everything you do. This is, you could really get rid of all of the rest of them, the other 20 logical fallacies, because the straw man argument is alive and well with everyone. Everyone, because people don't listen very well, and because people don't know what the words that they're saying mean. They don't listen, they don't know what they're saying, and they also adjust things in their own mind to hear what they want to hear, and then they misrepresent your argument. And again, when we say argument, it's not about an argument, it's about coming to some sort of a conclusion or terms with somebody of like, I mean, at least for me, to have people have a better understanding of themselves and the world around us, and how things are functioning here. But I really don't know. I don't know what to do with that. I don't think anybody does. Anybody that claims to know, straw man arguments come from, again, it's the disease of capitalism that causes people to be narcissistic, and that straw man argument is built in, and it's built in because we have dominator submissive complexes everywhere. We have the patriarchy and the matriarchy. We have the power of the parental systems or the schooling systems, the faux authority, the false authority, that causes people to have to defend themselves against the tyranny of the mind, the tyrants that, again, even those people that are doing it have no idea that they're doing it, because they're victim to the same system that's in place that they don't even see that's existing. So how to defend against, or how do what you don't? The only thing you can do mostly with narcissists and psychopaths and people that use straw man arguments, which usually tend to be that, you have to go, okay, you're right, and just lose the argument. But that's hard to do, isn't it? What's up, Anthony William? What's up, Awakening G? What's up, Brandon? Yeah, so I think here, well, I'll give the answer. Brandon just gave the answer. You just have to create for yourself and just go, fuck what everybody else is saying. That's why people become very introverted and just don't interact with the grand populace. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've told people, like, why isn't your channel huge then? Why don't you have so many thoughts? Because I don't want that. I don't tag my videos. I want the people that are interested in what I have to say to come here and learn from it if they can. I don't want to have, this is my channel to talk to myself and anybody that wants the information. It's not to argue with people. I mean, I'll involve myself in them because I find them humorous at times, but all in all, like, I don't need all that. It's a waste of my time. It's a waste of everyone else's time too. There's a million channels on the internet. So I suggest to people, go find the people that really, go there. Go find something that's going to help your life. Not, people think they win an internet argument and they're like, yes. Really? Even in real life, winning an argument isn't even winning. You pretty much lose an argument when you win, because people don't like to be wrong. So that's a huge thing. People don't want to. Not wanting to be wrong is like the idea of coming to terms with, well, the Earth isn't circular, and it's not flying through the sky. As a, going through that whole thing, and doing your due diligence, and saying, you know what, we're in a world where people have been bullshitting, and apparently we've been lied to. And to what degree? What degree have we been suggested a lie? What degree do we accept a lie? On any level. Because once you say that you've accepted, once you say you've been lied to, you immediately say, I'm stupid, or I was stupid. And nobody likes to say they're stupid, or we're stupid, or nobody likes to claim their ignorances. Like, shit, when I was 5, I was an ignorant 5-year-old. Now I'm 30 and 39. I'm an ignorant 39-year-old. There's plenty of shit I know now that I didn't know before, but I accept it. Yesterday, I'm hoping I'm a little smarter today than I was yesterday. That's the only thing we can, try to evolve. And sometimes evolving in consciousness is letting go of things that really were false. It's literally doing the opposite of what you think. It's not gaining information, it's getting rid of information that isn't true. And most people think they're stuck to pieces of information. So how do you get rid of information that isn't true? Man, there's lots of ways to do it, but changing environments, changing friends, changing careers, changing the books you read, changing the TV you watch, changing the clothes you wear. Changing a path you take to work. I mean, anything, any little frequency, any little thing, even like right now, the way I'm sitting or talking. If I were to change my breathing pattern, even that will change mindsets. If I take a little longer to speak, consider my words, don't use or or like, or any of these filler words, I could slow down and do that. Anyone could do that. But what would stir you to the point to fill in those little spaces? Everybody likes to fill in gaps. Nobody likes silence. And I just had some coffee, so it's especially difficult for me right now because I had some coffee and high fructose corn syrup on a waffle, and I don't usually have breakfast. I usually don't have coffee. I just really was like, I don't know. I'd like to have a waffle this morning, and I did, and I hate everything about it. I'm kidding. I don't hate everything about it. I enjoy it. It's got there's certain memories that surface from them. But all in all, the high fructose and the caffeine, it doesn't work well with me because I'm already too high strung in my mind. So normally I like relaxing downers, things like this. Nonetheless, I just threw an in there. Damn it. So we change little things within our speaking patterns, our movement patterns. So this is when people start doing yoga, the Americanized version, the Western version. They start doing different movement patterns, which eventually changes the way they think about things. I mean, that's not yoga. Yoga is everything. But the term yoga in America is reference to doing some stretching exercises, but that's not what it means at all. Yoga means yoke. It means to bind yourself to something, bind yourself to the spirit. That's not what they're doing that for a second, but then they get rid of yoga. They go to yoga class. Well, yoga class has been in session since you were born. It's a waste of time to talk about what's a waste of time. Well, what is time, Torin? What is wasteful? Because what is someone's garbage is somebody else's treasure, yes? Most people talk about wasting time. I mean, what drawing is a waste of time. Talking is a waste of time. I mean, is it wasteful or is it productive? And are we trying to produce something, or is the moment producing itself? And then we can just get into like some deep philosophical journeys, rather than, is there a world to be built beyond this kind of thing? Or are we already in it? Are we living it? So let's go on with a couple more of these logical fallacies. Slippery slope is another one, where somebody makes a says something that, well, if that happens, then eventually something else crazier will happen. Like, it's what mothers do all the time. Don't go out and do that because remember Lemony Snicket's and a series of unfortunate events. This one right here, that's the mother thing where mom thinks if you go and do that, you'll end up a crackhead on the street. Don't go to that party because in 2 years you'll end up smoking crack and homeless. That's that slippery slope. Like you can't really you can't say A equals Z without going through a whole series of you know unfortunate events, huh? Who else in there? What's up, Pete? How you doing, Torin? What's going on, man? Hmm. What else we got here? Special pleading. This is a fun one. It's like moving standards or goalposts. That's the way I would put it. Um, to create an expectation when a claim is shown to be false. Like somebody says something that's completely idiotic, and then you call them out on it, and they go, "Well, but this," and they just go ahead and move their argument to something else. It happens like this shit every day. You're gonna come across all of these things, and like, how do you talk to these people? You can't call them out on it. You just have to accept that okay. Well, is there anyone that you can have any kind of reasonable conversation with? I don't know. There are a few people. Hmm. Now we'll go over these, and if anybody has any solutions or ways to interact with, it's interacting with your own mind too, because no doubt we all do this, even to ourselves and our own minds. But my solution to all of this is the same thing, which is infinite landscapes, which is, I think, the solution which Torin has, which just design out your reality the way you want it. Who cares about logical? Who cares about logic? I mean, logic is redundant. It doesn't really exist. I mean, in the highest realms, that's what we're saying. In the highest, most creative realms, in the mind of God, nothing makes sense. It's whatever you want it to be, and it reproduces itself. Is that what you want? Okay. There's no judgment. There's no judgment in the mind of God. How could there be? All of it is creation. Whatever kind of creation it looks like. I mean, even you look at the God and Satan, or you look at Shiva and Shakti and Brahma. So you play with that. Like even in that, sometimes you break the sandcastle. Sometimes you pull the building apart and build something new. What else we got? Gambler's fallacy. This is a fun one. Um, Believing that things occur. It's not. That's not as often occurring in real life situations. So we'll leave that out of this. Oh, the black and white fallacy. Well, black and white. They're two alternative states, and they're the only possibilities. This is the major one. This is the black and white logical fallacy is what you're handed every day that you see red and blue. It's what you see when you play sports. It's what you see in you're gonna vote. What are you voting for, red or blue? That's all they give you. Two options. But that's it's not true. George Carlin said you got more options in cereal than you do in voting, right? You know what? A non-vote is a vote. And in fact, I don't know when the last election anybody won, because every election that has occurred, apparently there's been more people that didn't vote than the person that supposedly won. Figure that one out. So 50% of people don't vote. Well, they win. So there should be no one, right? But it is a vote not to vote. Mary, that's another Carlin bit, George Carlin. He talked about where's my stuff? Where's all the stuff? You got this big collection of stuff. I need to you go somewhere, you take a smaller collection of your stuff, and then you go to the next place, you make a smaller collection of stuff, and you just keep moving things. Like everything is everything. Yeah. I mean, but then again, life is movement. Yeah. Without movement, there is no life. And we talk about some logical fallacies. Clean the room out real quick. What else? False causes. This is a major one too. False causes. This happens every day in when it comes to eating, food, disease, false cause is always the narrative. Because you can, when you really get into it, everybody that wants to claim the side of the doctors, oh, there was a study, science will tell you. Science will always give you a false cause. Like how did that person get how did they get skin cancer? It was the sun. Well, that's not the cause. The cause is your diet is shit, and you put a lot of, you know, oils in your body. You put garbage in your body, and the cancer actually. Well, but then they even say cancer is harmful, and that's not even true at all. Cancer is not harmful. Cancer is your friend. It's letting you know, like, hey, stop putting the shit in the body that you're putting in the body. And the sun is helping you go, hey, you see that right there? You have cancer right there on your skin. And if you knew how to diagram the body out, you realize that spot right there is connected to your liver, which is connected to the microwave steak that you're eating or whatever. Like, it's they're just there's always a false cause. This is the narrative for everything scientific. Ad hominem, everybody does this. This is classic internet bullshit. Attacking your opponent's character or personal traits in an attempt to undermine the argument. Anytime I comment on someone's Instagram page, like if I say something about whatever they said, not about them, they'll immediately go, "Oh, you're a pile of shit, and you're an ignorant pile of shit, and you're da 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 da. You must be blah blah." I'm like, okay, cool, but that's gonna happen. That's internet. In real life, people are a little less quick to say something like that because they get slapped in the face. Because people won't handle that too well in public, just to be insulted in public like that. It's a little less. People on the internet ain't saying shit in real life. That's a guarantee. And the people that actually talk real shit in real life ain't on the internet fucking with people. So, oh, loaded questions are another one. That's for somebody who is always needs to be right. Asking a question that has an assumption built into it. I mean, that's just an easy one. You hear those all the time. But the funny thing with the loaded question, those are often paired up with false causes. Somebody will say, "Oh, well, go back to the sun. The sun causing cancer." Well, they believe they're asking a question. Well, oh, you say the sun is the greatest thing, but it causes cancer. I mean, they're saying, well, but it causes cancer. Well, they already have a false cause, and they've already loaded the question with something that they believe to be false. So they double that up all the time. Begging the question, a circular argument in which the conclusion is included in the premise. This happens all the time. I don't want to go over that one. Here, an appeal to authority. This is another science move. Science being scientism these days. There's not really much there. They go, oh well, science said so. Not even accepting that science is run by money. If I want my product to sell, I have to go give this company $1 million to test, and I say test this and give me this outcome, and I'll pay you if you give me this outcome. So they find a bunch of variables that will give the outcome that says this product is safe, but if you have someone else test it in a different way, it's not safe. And it's the same thing. That's all drugs. That's how drug companies work. Let's see. Composition and division. Assuming what's true about one part of something has to be applied to all or other parts of it. Yeah. We won't get into that too much. It happens all the time, though. Anecdotal. Using personal experience or isolated examples instead of a valid argument to dismiss things. People always do this. Oh, well, I had an experience one time that was like this. So it kind of invalidates everything else that's going on for everyone. It doesn't really work that way. Well, thanks for your experience, but it doesn't work in arguments. It doesn't work in trying to come to like a better understanding of the world. Appeal to emotion. That last one, anecdotal and appeal to emotion. This is a more of a feminine trait. Women do this all the time. Manipulating an emotion in response, manipulating an emotion response in place of a valid or compelling argument. Oh, you made me feel bad. Like, how do you make somebody feel bad? That's up to you. This is the way you feel about it. people do this all the time. Whenever, like last night when I was having a conversation on here, and somebody kept in here chiming in here, trolling the fuck out the place. I was like, okay, and they kept saying, oh, like basically saying something about emotions and feelings, and I was like, well, I don't even know who you are. I have no emotion or feeling. This is the way I'm responding. But they kept bringing up things that were trying to steer that. The burden of proof, saying the burden of proof lies not with the person making the claim, but with someone else to disprove it. That's classic with the flat Earth and all of this. Yeah. Well, the proof is already there of the globular flying through, the pear-shaped whatever, whoever we got to listen to in the science community these days. They play that game very well. But the no true Scotsman, making what could be called an appeal to purity as a way to dismiss relevant criticism. Yeah, oh, that's a good person. So for, forget of all the bullshit, right? The Texas sharpshooter. Oh, here we go. Cherry picking data. There we go. Here's another thing. People have find one piece of data that supports something they say, and then magically everything else is everything else is peachy because the one thing. Well, that one thing right there is perfect. People cherry pick all the time, all over the internet, especially vegans and meat eaters alike both cherry pick data. So this is why it's hard. Like, man, where I sit, like they both kind of you're right in your own way, but you're both very wrong because there's some goofiness in both of their claims. Oh, the fallacy. Because something has been poorly argued, because something is poorly argued, it's wrong. I mean, if something well, that's a lot of people too, because people don't know how to construct even a fourth grade sentence. Personal incredulity, saying that because one finds something difficult to understand, it is therefore not true. This happens with very intelligent people all the time. When you talk to mass amounts of people, because most people are not forward thinkers, they're not futurists, and they don't have much of a firm foundation. They have like, oh, this person, they're using big words, too smart for us. Don't use. It's like idiocracy, using big words. Who was the comedian that said it? You're gonna use big words to make me feel stupid, so therefore I can't agree with you. Oh, ambiguity. This is one of my favorites. I do this all the time, but I do it for a different purpose, just to give a little bit, a little bit of humor to things. But people do use it to disguise things often. Ambiguity, using a double meaning or ambiguities with language to mislead or misrepresent things. My attempt, really, whenever I'm using it, is not to misrepresent something, but to give people options to think about. Let's see. Ooh, genetic, judging something to be good or bad based on where it comes from. Yeah, that's a big one. You can watch that every day in the news. The middle ground, saying that compromise, a middle point between two things, is the truth. Compromise never got anybody anywhere. So there tends to be in most things something that is a little more true than the other, and then you just go in the middle. That seems ridiculous. So that's the major ones. Scottish piss drinker, what's up? So yeah, maybe now we'll just get on to a little talk. See who's here. Yeah, alive and awake. Yeah, voting is you just voting for a master. That's yeah. Yeah, sounds like an SNL skit. Exactly. People talking in physical realm the way they troll on the internet. No, sir. That, I shit. That's never happened. That never happens. I mean, sometimes you find some, but you find clever people in clever places, and they're doing it for fun, and they're not being asswipes about it. Like these people, and you'll play with them. So it's a much different thing than people on the internet just being shitbags. Yeah, Torna. Yeah, I mean, who wants to be wrong? Whoever believes they're wrong. But I mean, you could look through your life and say some things you've done, maybe not wrong. Uh, See, the opposite of right isn't wrong, and the opposite of right isn't left. But I usually say good, better, best. That's what I like. That wasn't the best choice. Like this morning, it wasn't wrong for me to eat a waffle with high fructose corn syrup on it. It wasn't wrong for me to drink coffee. But based upon my general state of my mind and a little bit of sweat and excitement, I don't prefer it. It's a little more energetics than I usually like to play with. So I could have made a better choice. I could have just not eaten. I could have fasted. I could have eaten something else. So it was a good choice, but a better one would have been. And I think if people start to look at their decisions in life as that way, good, better, best, then it allows for because if you could say that's right and that's wrong, then it forces people to stick with that left or right, that blue or red, that black or white bias. But if you say good, better, best, then well, it ain't really give people three choices. That changes everything. That gets in the tribal choice rather than Bible choice. Bible gives opposition, tribal gives movement, energy. Alive and awake. The living plants. Well, I'll give you the answer to that, because the plants become part of your system. Plants want to get up and walk around inside of you. They're putting their life into you to be part of your system, where you have to kill an animal. An animal has already has its own brain, already has its own heart system, already can walk around, and already has a familia and is engaged in life. So in that way, that's not the art. That's not the point that I would try to make, because I think that takes things a little too far. And I think by a little too far, I say we can certainly see that an orange drops from a tree for a reason. It's for us to pick it up and eat it because it tastes good. We unpeel it and it tastes like it's supposed to be in our body. If I go and chase down an animal and it fights me back and I bite into it, not only am I getting injured by the animal, you know what I'm saying? If your food is causing you injury, then it's probably not food, is it? So if I had to go chase down an animal and it was biting me, and then I bit into it, it's not going to taste good, and I just got hurt from it. Would that make sense to eat it? Seems like the food is offering itself to you. It's glowing, it's bright, it smells right. If I walk into a field and I smell a cow or a bull, I don't like the smell of them. I mean, I get what they are. The aroma is telling me all I need to know, and I can see the size of the fucking thing. And I was like, do I want to fight this thing and kill it and eat it? That sounds ridiculous to me. Now, does that mean that I don't eat meat? I mean, doesn't that's not that's part of it. I mean, my ingestion of what I choose to eat is, that's my business, yo. I'll deal with my karma. But most of what I eat is everybody knows, vegetarian mostly. Urine fasting, vegetarian. I'll eat some meat here and there, but that's reserved for special occasions. Nonetheless, yeah, there's a big difference between obviously eating plants. That's the when well the plants are living too, and that's a whole different thing. That's one of those, you're using one of these. That's a slippery slope argument right there. Wouldn't you agree that's a slippery slope to somehow qualify a plant to be as conscious and aware and have all this? It doesn't have the same organs, it doesn't have eyes, it doesn't have all of these things. It doesn't move, it doesn't there seems to be a wildly different thing going on there. A plant is never trying to harm me. Yeah, I hear you there, Mary. Cherry picking, yes. This is a fun one. Yeah, kids are definitely just instantly drawn to each other. That's for sure. I mean, children are already they're bypassing all of the programs. If a puppy or a child doesn't like something, I trust them. And If it does like something, that's a good thing, you know. Why do some plants create toxic chemicals to protect themselves? Um, yeah, because here we go, alive and awake. I don't think most people should be eating plants. I think they should be eating fruits. I think most plants are not to be eaten. I think the greenery, if you eat just green stuff off the like the foliage and like on the ground, I don't think we're supposed to be eating that. Most people do. I don't think we're supposed to be. I think we are now because our bodies are so toxified with all of the garbage we've put in it that the service of the foliage is to actually clean things out of your system. But I don't think we're supposed to be eating that. I don't think that's part of the diet. Because right away, think about what monkeys do. They'll take the leaves and they'll put the leaf in their mouth and get the chemical off of it and see if they should eat some leaf. Because if they're sick, they'll find a leaf. What we find the leaves for is usually to make decoctions and concoctions of teas and stews and things, which then become medicine. So this is why we see the witches and the shamans and the medicine men. They'll be mixing those things up: the bark of the tree, the roots of the tree, and the foliage. They're putting those things together to create medicine, where the food was actually the highest form. Everything else becomes a tea, or something you add to a stew, which becomes witchery and things like this, which is all medicinal. What's up, Danny Skylark? Kids are bullshit detectives for sure. I fuck with a crispy crab roll. Yeah. Yeah, Mary, yeah. Hump day is holy. What's today? Is it? No, it's Monday. It's Monday. Okay. Well, Monday's a holy day. Yeah, I know. This is a label thing, man. I think we're all humans. We're all gods. We're all having our own journey and adventure. And if if we believe in karma, that's what we'll deal with. And I think the only karma that really exists is literally if you're a carnivore, is dealing with the repercussions of digesting that food. I mean, yes, there's going to be some etherical etherical webbings certainly to that animal and that spirit, but if we believe life is everlasting and everything's moving through these cycles, and if people believe in reincarnation, then haven't we given that animal the next incarnation? What if it becomes human next, because we've eaten its spirit, so now all of a sudden we're giving it human life? Do you think it would? Do all things think they're human already? Would it like to be human next time? Maybe that's what we've done by eating it. I don't claim to know, but just an idea. Now, I'm not saying to go start murdering animals. That's not what that's this is where vegans go. Well, they'll hear that and they just immediately shut this shit off and fuck you. You're an idiot. You're killing animals. And I'm like, okay, that's not, you're not listening very closely. Uh, yeah, yeah. But I think we're all on this like journey, and it goes back to this the bit by Neville Goddard when he's talking to Abdullah, and Neville Goddard was vegan or vegetarian for years and years, and he thought he needed to be good in this clean lifestyle and blah 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 blah, and then he met Abdullah, and Abdullah was basically eating meat and drinking whiskey and ice cream, and he's like, how the hell do you do that? How do Abdullah, how do you do that? He's like, Neville, you can never do this because you have qualms, you have quibbles, meaning you think this is wrong, so it's wrong for you. But I can't change the world. I can change my behaviors. If for me it makes more sense to eat vegetarian, I'll eat vegetarian. If today what I desire and what I want to do is I can't bring that animal back to life, can I? I go to somebody's cookout and I'm hanging out with everybody and they got a roasted pig there. What am I going to bring it back to life? Hardly. So if I if I choose to help devour spirit, devour something, this is what you go into other realms. Like really, this is the spirit eater. The shamans they eat spirit, and just devour it, so it doesn't, you know. So again, not suggesting to do these things. Just what would you do if you lived in? You would know nothing different if you lived in Hawaii, right? And every pig roast every other weekend. Would you? What would you think? Your culture wouldn't allow for you to think something different. You wouldn't be able to think outside of that. When did veganism start in all of this? I mean, vegetarian. Look at if you go to Gujarat in India, there's 60 million people, and the whole state is dry. They don't drink alcohol, and they're all vegetarian. 60 million people. And this is my people are like meat eating, blah, blah, blah. You need proteins and all of this. No, we're supposed to be eating meat. Like, no, you don't. You're actually you're missing hundreds of millions of people that lived and are strong off of a vegetarian diet, but they use cow's milk because that's where the holy cow, which has the mushrooms and the holy cow, because it's the mother figure, and they have reverence for the cow, and they treat them well, and they share they share energies with the cow, and they use milk for cheese and ghee, and they make butter, and they make yogurt. They seem to be fine without the B12s. And everybody's, oh, you need B12s. They don't even know what they're saying. So, but if you were to go to, somewhere very far north where there's no vegetation, where it's very cold, your diet is not going to be eating grapefruits and mangoes and pineapples. It can't be. It would be eating what's around you, and that might be animals. You gonna tell the people in Alaska that they're fishing for whale and or seal blubber or whatever they want and whatever they're doing? You gonna tell them they're doing it wrong? I highly doubt that. That's some ignorant ass shit. So culture and where you live, your local environment should define how you consume. Only shit in nature. I always say that, like, what kind of people are we? We're sitting here shitting in clean water. It's pissing and shitting in clean water. First of all, you should probably be drinking your piss and you should be shitting out in nature, but it always trips me out. People that are like, pick up that dog shit. They shit in the grass. And like, you realize that's fertilizing the ground, right? Oh, pick it up and put it in a plastic bag. So put it in a plastic bag that isn't gonna, it's not gonna break down for thousands of years, and tie it up and put it into a garbage can that can take and put in a pile over there. What the fuck is the difference? Why wouldn't I just put it in the ground and it will regenerate itself? Wouldn't that be the smarter choice? If you were to watch people, the kind of stupid shit we do, could you imagine what kind of idiot, like, even a third world nation, like, why are you picking up that dog shit? Like, that's some filthy shit you're doing right there. You're gonna put it in a plastic bag too? That's even dumber. I never really understood that. But then again, I don't understand why people cut grass. I don't understand why there's not fruit trees lining every street in the country, in the world. There should be fruit trees everywhere, at least where fruit can grow, and there should be vegetation in the other states and the higher, more north you go. Why not? Oh, then there'd be no grocery stores. Huh? There's no grocery stores. There's no genetically modified food. Oh no. Oh no, the lack of control. Oh no, people would just be eating in the streets and being anarchists. Yeah, just take the mushroom off the shit. Don't want to send crabs to reincarnate in the sewer. Yeah, yeah. Sorry, Mary Curry. I tend to do that. It's whatever's in my brain or whatever people talk to me about. I have to regurgitate for everybody. I have to like baby birdie it to you. What's up, Alan Vaz? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, Norway sheep's head. There you go. There's another one. And then people are so sickened by, oh, you're eating, like, they don't even realize, like, hot dogs are lips and assholes and stuff, and the other parts of the animal, they're all getting used, whether you like it or not, and it's in the nastiest shit. But if you were to say, hey, here, just eat the eyeball, they'd be like, what the fuck? And then, you look at the sausage and you realize that's the that's the lining of their intestines where all the shit was going through. Now you have that made a sausage out of pretty much basically the entire animal. I mean, whatever. But at least there's respect to use the whole animal. Even in the disgusting idea of the farming the factory farming system that is that's everywhere now. Like, yeah, there's the salami is horse meat. For real? Are you being for real? Yeah, it must be FDA, CDC, and government approved. You damn right, Alan. So yeah, the government approves of it. Now I think now if we get back to it, like, well, do we want the government telling us what we can and can't do? No, we don't. So let's go ahead and just allow for whatever. I mean, the things that are um, things in this culture that are applauded are actually the most disgusting things, are they not? Death and war and killing and murdering and eating death and destruction and movies with all of this terror in it and the news and people that are part of these, football players, just violence. And I mean, I'm not saying I don't enjoy football. I'm not saying any of this is wrong. I'm just saying, isn't it weird that those types of things are applauded? Applaud the army and the blah 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 and the wars and protecting this and I don't know. Whose joke is it? Like, what are you doing over there protecting our freedoms over there? Like, I thought they were here. You got to go over there and what are you going to what are you going to Afghanistan for? What did they do with? Did they take our freedoms over there? God damn it! I forget whose joke that was, but I always find that humorous. Um, so yeah, but then things that are sensual and I don't know, loving and kind. We just like no love making and sexuality. That's disgusting, and that's the evil sin according to the Christians. They'd rather kill you than you make love. Whoa. And then I want you having your pagan deities, even though they don't understand what a deity is. I know. There you go, live and awake. I mean, now on a higher level, I do suppose that the threat of and the fear of violence towards something is always can reduce actual harm. You know, the big like rah standing there can prevent people from doing stupid ass shit. Yeah, I don't doubt it. If you got rid of that, does everything turn into the what people think anarchy is, even though they have no fucking clue what the term means, anarchy. I'm not going to break it down in etymologically because you can go ahead and do that on your own. But like anarchy is what nature is, and nature is perfected. It's not really causing a problem, and it's anarchy is not blowing things up and bombs and all that. Like an anarchist would never do that. They don't have time for it. They'd rather have peace. They'd rather have wholeness. They'd rather have education. They'd rather be well aware and informed of how the world functions, which they would observe nature. Nature is anarchist. So the war is actually on nature, for certain types of people. Because if we can't, we need to control nature. We need to box it in. We need to, we got to have this thing grow like this. Because if not, there'll be free food for everybody, and then won't be able to control anything anymore. Yeah, but who knows? Yeah, compassion is a compass to passion. Compassion, compass and passion, huh? Nature always does that without us getting in the way. We got to go stick everything in a garbage can and put things in the way of nature just doing what it does already before we put our hands all over everything. Interesting. Yeah, most sports in let's think about it. Yeah, in America, everything is a handball game. Throw the ball, catch the ball. It's all hand oriented, which is all in all, soccer is a more difficult, or football proper is more difficult. It they fucked everything up because it's turned into such a bitch ass game. I can't stand watching it anymore. People just fucking falling all over the place like it's a bunch of pussies, yo. I can't stand it. Excuse me, I don't mean pussies. I don't insult vaginas. I love vaginas, but the sport has really devolved. But at one point in time, it was it was a beautiful game because of what it takes. It's the talent is, it's easy to use your hands when you got to run somewhere, but to use your feet to do the running and the game playing, that's tough. Yeah, Brazil. Yeah, they're the playing. They're below the Ecuador, the equator. Thinking of other sports, halal. I don't know how it's halal. Jalal. Is that how they spell it? That one with the curved thing that they play in, like I think they only play it in Florida. Thinking of all the games that they play that are handball even, like that's New York City, handball. Um, what other? I mean, I guess England, where they play cricket and I mean rugby's a dope game. Rugby's up there. Australian rules rugby because that you got to use the hands, the feet, and there's like a lot of little rules you got to know. That's an interesting game. You got to be intelligent, strong. Polo, yeah, polo. That's a tough. That's a tough. That's don't drown, swim hard, and yeah, that's a great. I mean, you want to be in shape, play polo, man. Only one I play is Marco Polo. Hockey, skating around with knives on your feet, smashing a turd into a net. Hockey's a fucking weird game, man. But I mean, if that's what you got when you up in Canada, you got cold weather, and you got ice everywhere. You're gonna find a game to play. So I can dig it. I'm really you're not gonna be want to go out there and be kicking a ball around too much. You can't play barefooted. You know what I'm saying? So you make do. Of course the Russians and the Canadians are gonna be really good at hockey. That's the climate they're working with. So if I take sports into if if your country, the place you live locally, allows for you to be good at certain sport, it should allow you to be eating a certain type of thing. Eating and eating and sports go hand in hand. You can I've said it before. Go watch go watch the style of soccer played in say Mexico, Brazil. It's all footwork. It's fancy. It's spicy. Everything is at the like dancing. They're eating hot food. Go watch England play soccer. Everything is calculated, going down the wing, crossing the ball in. Watch how the Russians play. It's very stoic, and the way they're holding and controlling the ball, it's very, very much, you know, rectilinear and cold and calculated. Go watch. Let's see. Let's go to South Africa. Go to all of those countries. Cameroon. Go watch how they play. It's going to be similar to Brazil, similar because they're in the same place they're near the equator between the Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, and the equator. It's hotter, so their foods they're eating, the way they're going to play is going to be pretty similar, and it is. The only thing different is going to be the size of the people, so they can play a little differently. So you're going to watch the skills of the player regulated by the dance. The dance. Watch how people dance in these certain areas. People in the when they started playing soccer here, like you got a bunch of non-dancing, corny ass white folk. No wonder they fucking can't. They're not good at soccer. I mean, now, you got more natives and aboriginals and uh, people that could dance playing soccer in this country. So that's changed things. But you go watch the dance. I mean, look at the polka. Look at the way the Russians dance, right? But their soccer games gonna be the same way. Look at how powerful they are. Look at the way they drink. Just drinking fire water, vodka, and then just eat, just pounding. Let's go. Watch them play soccer. So, ice football. I think I finally talked through all of that caffeine in my system. It's almost out of me. I can almost get back to normal Zen mode. So what's next, y'all? covered some sports, we covered some food, covered some psychology, philosophy. What else? What else would you like it to get into? Maybe sunshine? Let's see what it looks like outside. I want to get to the beach again today, man. I've been enjoying this recharge after blowing my load in New Orleans. Like, just crazy shit going on in New Orleans. Came to the beach again just so I can catch that sun vibe and that ocean. That ocean. Who else jumping up in here? Who is the 13th one? Blooming Goddess, what's up? You're welcome. Well, that's what I'm here for. My brain droppings. Is the sun bright where you are, Brandon? Can I sun gaze? No, not midday, not now. Whenever, like, it's simple. If I go through, like, I've been eating shitty for, again, just because I've been hanging out with a lot of people doing a lot of shit, a lot of stupid shit. So once you start eating and your blood gets a little toxified, it's going to affect, your sight and your vision and how much you can take in light through your skin too, but especially your sun. There was a time, like right around that eclipse last year, I'd went out and stared at the eclipse for about 45 minutes straight. And that was pretty awesome. I mean, it was later in the day, but around that time, I could almost stare at the sun at noon. Now, no. I tried it yesterday at like 2 o'clock, and it was just like, it's way too much. You got to build up to that. And the easiest way to build up to it is obviously start during the morning, but more so cleaning your body out. If you can clean your body out, like I could get there pretty quickly, just, do a fast, put some urine in my eyes, get them kind of, cleared up, and then sun gazing is pretty easy and very, very enlightening. Yeah, the urine therapy will speed up how quickly you can get out and stare in the sun. People are watching like that motherfucker staring at the sun. He's gonna go blind. He must be crazy. He must be crazy. Man, it's so funny. Every time I sun gaze, I'm like, my vision is like right now. Yesterday I went and I was ordering something from a restaurant last night, and they have the big big screen up there, and I was like, I'm standing there in line. I'm like, I really can't read that right now. I was like, it's kind of blurry to me. I gotta go home and clean my eyeballs out and do a fast. But I'll be able to do that and then go stare in the sun, and within 2 weeks, I'll increase my, however bad my vision is, I can clean my vision up. Yeah, it really comes down to the toxicity of your blood. Just about everything we do. In fact, just everything we do, as far as cleansing in the body, healing. Um, it's all about your tubes in your body, and if you have obstructions, tubes minus obstructions equal vitality. And in the same sense, when you have clean blood, it can take, because the blood is a cell that's going to bring light codes, information, nutrients, whatever the fuck you want to call it, because everybody's got, well, it's got these amino acids, and then people are like, oh, the light codes of the universe, and people are like, oh, your DNA, let's express that, and whatever words you want to use, the less toxicity you have in your system, the quicker you're going to heal, the quicker you can cleanse things out of your body. Like my eyes, if I have a little gunk in them, because literally that's what it is, you have veins going to your eyes that are bringing nutrition. And if I'm putting like toxified blood into my eyes, into the rest of my system, it's not going to heal, and it actually cause a layer of gunk. Call it glaucoma. That's later stages of it. People are giving themselves glaucoma. I mean, it's easy enough to drain out. You have a spot here and a spot here. If you have bad vision, there's two little dots right. It's like right there and right there. You can feel it. There's little two indentations. And you can get these things off of the internet for pretty cheap. They're called, let me go grab some for you. I'll show you. Y'all even know about Zen's awesome bags of tricks. Boxes and boxes and boxes of tricks. Here you go. What you want is AccuZone press tack needles. They're basically, I'll show you. There you go. I got one open already. You can either just do self acupressure just by poking on it, pushing on it, or you can get these things. What these are is they're not you're not going to go as deep as you would with acupuncture needles, and I don't know that you can still buy needles off of the internet. I've got some, but I don't know if they sell them anymore on Amazon. But see here. Let's see if I can zoom in on that. No? Okay. Well, there's a little prick on here. And because I know there's a couple spots, like right now, I could put that right there because that will help with headaches and blah, blah, blah. You know, blood flow. There's a meridian through here. So I'll just put one there right now. Why not? And you can put those right there, and those will help open up pathways to expel fluidium out of your eyes and pressure out of your eyes. You got glaucoma, you got high pressure in your eyeballs. That's very helpful. Obviously, you can go and get acupuncture, which is going to be helpful. Even really, if you've never been to a chiropractor, that alone is going to loosen up a lot of things in your body. Go get your back cracked. And unless you do it to yourself, like there's ways of doing it to yourself, but go get it done professionally once. I mean, if you want to just one overhaul, go get your back snapped and get your whole body adjusted, and then go get your massage, and then go get needles put in you, and then just lay in bed and drink water all day, and you'll see, like one day of just, treat yourself. That's like getting an overhaul on a car, like getting a whole tune-up. And then if you want to go harder with it, give yourself a urine enema, and then before you go to bed, go ahead and give yourself an oil basti. You've literally just overhauled your entire system in one day. Oh, nice, Brendan. You can see in the salt water with no pain. That's excellent. Yeah, the salt's going to clean your eyes out. Salt on the skin and outside of the body, and even in the eyes, is a good idea. But ingesting it is a bad idea. Ah, Danny Skylark. So you're putting the highest form of stem cells in your eyes. So you can see better, I bet, huh? Hey, Danny, squirt some in my direction. See if you can squirt some all the way to New Orleans. Or where am I now? Oh, Orange Beach. Squirt some in my direction. I'll catch it and put it in my eyes. Clean up my vision. Oh, Jeremiah, that was you? Okay, I'll check it out in a second, man. Yeah, and for everybody on here that doesn't know, I tend to get behind on emails. I get so much fucking email and responses on here, and uh, it's I'm doing it from a phone, and I don't have a keyboard, so I hate texting back to people. It's like they ask me a question, I'm like, fuck, this is like 5 paragraphs. It's gonna take me forever, and it's not gonna get the point across. So I'd rather just get online and do it this way. And soon, I'm gonna start these one-on-ones again. We'll start doing one-on-ones with people, and I'll hook those up, and there'll be an easier way to do this shit. I just need to find that one person that's gonna be like my secretary or my understudy or whatever. My student. You take care of all my emails. You hook it up, and I'll just do it. Because I can't do all this shit. It's too much for me. Oh man, yeah, you get a lot of information from your urine. That's a lot. Yeah, if I have one bad meal, like immediately, I get the smell out of my armpits. I'll get the smell of it, and then my urine will have that flavor. Like you don't want that. And I know when I've been eating right, like my urine is like fluffy, soft, and more delicious. It's like lemonade. Can I speak on information coming from the sun? In what regard, Travis? I mean, you saying like direct source of information? I mean, you can use it as a portal or a gateway to download and download, if you want to use that word, receive information. Um, and obviously, you're getting melanin, which is what some people would call dark matter intelligence. So you would get darker, darker. I mean, this is why your skin gets dark. You get light, but then your skin becomes dark. There's the first weird thing that happens. All of this light, and it causes your skin to become dark. You get your bones become stronger. It cleanses you quickly. So in that way, you're getting the information because you can just see your body. Like watch me if I've been inside. I get pasty and I don't look as intelligent. I'm not as pretty. I go outside and get a little bit of a tan, and all of a sudden if I've been out drinking and eating and shit, and all of a sudden, okay, now I'm just out in the sun, drinking water, drinking some tea, drinking some even wine and beer is not going to do anything because it's helping cleanse. The little kidney problems, which is from overeating, not from over drinking, those go away. The little wrinkles go away. My skin becomes more supple. So in that way, you're being informed physically, and if you're physically informed, then you're mentally informed, because they're reflective of each other. Like my couple gray hairs that I had, they kind of just bounced out of here. They're like peace. The sun melanates everything. Danny Scarlock, I've heard that before. I won't hold my breath. Blooming Goddess, what if you have a UTI? Can you still use the urine? I don't know. I would think so, because it should be your it should have the panacea in it, But I think to be intelligent with it, a UTI is a simple fix. Obviously, cranberry juice is great. You can do what is like a yogurt douche. You can do a yogurt douche is probably the easiest to do, because the bacteria from the yogurts are going to eat away all of that. That's and cranberry juice. So you know what I'm saying? Like I would probably say fix it first, because it's not like a major problem. It's some people get them all the time, but that's obviously diet related. I don't know why that's happening for you. It could be certain types of food you're eating. It could be a lack of it could be a lack of um, like a diverse biome in your and bacterias in your system that aren't eating away things that should be eaten away. Maybe you're eating something, but you don't have the um, the culture to eat away at it. Like, say, people always like, oh, humans aren't supposed to consume milk, and it's ridiculous. It's because they're not supposed to be consuming pasteurized milk, because the milk already has bound to it what's going to eat away at the milk. But once we cook it, then you're destroying all of the living cultures. So maybe you have things in your system that the antithesis or the antigen for isn't available in your system, and that's causing you to get UTIs. Or I don't know, you fucking dirty dudes. I mean, I don't know. You just you could answer that for yourself. But again, UTIs are a pretty simple cleanup, and you clean that up real quick, and then cranberry juice, beet juice, things, potato juice, raw potato juice is a good blood cleanser, which will help with that. Or it could be a little more systemic. You could just have a kidney problem. Have you ever had kidney problems? That might be part of it too. What's up, T360? Thank you, T360. Yeah, the salt, man. The salt is, that's one of the tricks of the language. If we were to just trade in salt for, if we call salt what it is, and we call the living system something else, then we would know salt is a toxin. It's a poison. It's supposed to be growing something. It's not. So it's the same thing as dog shit. You can grow things in dog shit, but you don't eat the dog shit. You can grow things with salt, but you don't eat the salt. Uh, yeah, blooming goddess. I don't know about the. I wouldn't. You know what you might try. You might try hydrogen peroxide. Not out of the brown bottle. Go and get yourself the 35% food grade, and then break that down. 10 parts distilled water to 1 part 35% food grade, and from there that should be very helpful. Over oxygenating the blood is always a brilliant idea. Um, it's again, it's going to be causing more healing going on in your body, so you might have other herxomer effects. But if you've been pretty healthy in your diet, that should do a pretty good number on getting rid of it. You were in massage school, and our teacher showed a pic of skin removed from the body. It's amazing how much sun was coming through the skin. Like it was just like the sun going. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, like the permeable, how permeable the skin is. It looks so very solid, but there's basically one layer, and then you have to crisscross it 7 times to make it this what we have outside of our body as a spacesuit. It's a fluke from using an enema. Interesting. Yeah, so once you get rid of it though, then use your urine. Candidas, you know, fresh probiotics. Yeah, you can use sauerkraut. You could even use sauerkraut, or sauerkraut might be a good idea. The juice from that, and candida's albicon. Most people got a little too much of that. I mean, I know I do. I'll get kind of healthy and be doing well, and then eat some shit, and then all of a sudden, like, there's a little buildup of those little guys. I don't think you can ever really truly get rid of all of them. You haven't slept with anybody in 3 years? God damn. Well, hopefully you're taking care of yourself. Breathing more. Yeah. You can breathe more. Yeah, that's instead of using hydrogen peroxide in the body. It's obviously just an easier dose to put the oxygen in the form of the water, and it's gonna do a deeper cleansing than just breathing. You'd have to have a really good meditation for an hour and get into some very deep breathing. And now if you're going to do that, you're going to make sure you have enough water in your system, and you're going to want to go out and ground yourself, because that grounding is going to do a number on. I'm going to add this here, but I'm going to make a whole video on this, because I think it was Daniel Drew and a couple other people that they were talking about static electricity and basic electricity in the body by eating a high fruit diet. Most people aren't ground out enough. People get these high fruit diets and fasting on all this shit, and they're feeling good for a while, but then the energy isn't ground out. They don't take their shoes off. They don't cleanse themselves in salt waters. So it's certain areas people like trying to eat fruit during the winter is not making a lot of sense. You can cause yourself harm. You need to ground yourself out, and especially when you're doing certain types of breathing exercises, you're over oxygenating the system again, which is good. You're cleansing it, but you want to ground yourself out so that you get all the negative ions, and you get to literally ground your electrical system out in your body, which will help keep you cleansed without overburning the body. Diatomaceous earth helps take care of parasites. I used to use that. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I assumed blooming goddess kidney problems. Yeah. Um, let me turn my air conditioner on here, because that's what's got me breathing. That and the caffeine still. Fucking caffeine, yo. caffeine caffeine got me sweating in here. Tell you, don't ever ask Zen out on a coffee date. It don't work. All right? It's too much. Because my body is already runs at a pretty high digestion rate, meaning digesting information, digesting, because most of my organs are pretty clean, that even a small amount of caffeine, I'm just like zooted. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Ah, okay, back to this question here. Kidney problems. Is your diet been good for a while, blooming goddess? And are you like, how's your weight? What's your standard diet? Because getting rid of kidney problems, depending on depending on the load in your gallbladder and your liver and what's being released from that. Have you ever done a liver or gallbladder cleanse? How cleansed is your um, how cleansed is your bowels? Like those two you have to start with. First your bowels, then your liver and gallbladder, and then you can cleanse your kidneys. Kidneys are last in line. But if it's something reoccurring and you've had a kidney problem, it's usually because the things before that are backed up. Usually the gallbladder and the liver are backed up. So it's adding extra to the burden of the kidneys to clean. And so if you have kidney problems, then of course you're going to have urinary tract problems because your kidneys are releasing your urine back into the system, right? Now, what would you do in nature would be the first question. You would probably find yourself a clean source of water, distilled water, or fruit juices. Now, if you weren't near that, and you would drink your piss. You'd have to. And so, logically, you would just consume the piss. But because you have other routes, which I think might be a better idea, I would do those first. Blood cleansers. Potatoes, tubers in general, beets. These are all going to help clean your blood, which which are starches. And a lot of people say, oh, you shouldn't be having starch in your diet, but starch is a blood cleanser. Think about it. Take a potato, put something through it. It actually collects. It's that starch is not. It's unhealthy when you're using it in overabundance, and that's your diet. And it's not even really a starch. It's that's being cooked in fake vegetable oil. That is, there's a whole lot more going on. It's not just the starches. The starches themselves, used in the proper amounts, are cleansing the blood. You've been on H2O for cool, man. You 3 weeks now. Yeah, I haven't. I've never fully done it. Like for a very long period of time. I use it from time to time, but like I had like enough candida a while back where like one of my toenails is janky, all fucked up, and I put some on my toe and I drank some, but I go at things hard, and it released so much toxin in my body that I was like, oh man, I need to back off of this shit because I was just fucking blown out and tired, and I could feel so much work being done with my you know cycling it through my kidneys that H2O you gotta be very careful. H2O2 you gotta be careful with. Start with smallest dose possible, and build up and you find that place where you're at a good cleansing rate. And on top of that, if you're doing a lot of activity, if you're staying active and running and shit, it's doing a very similar thing. So adding that plus that, you can really cleanse the body very quickly. So mostly raw vegan. Um, you got to be careful with the raw diet. Where do you live? Where do you live, and what do you consider raw, and what kind of vegan food are you eating? Because there's a lot of poisonous vegan food, and I like to put that out there for everybody. Vegan is not the way to go. It's a very new thing, and there's a lot of chemicals. There's a lot of things made in factories, so it's a that's a slippery slope to very diseased body and mind. I'm not suggesting to trade it in for dead animals, but if you are adding vegan products, certain things, just because it's vegan, there's plenty of things that are vegan that are very, very, very unhealthy. Like there's no there's no animal products, say, in a keyboard, but I wouldn't want to eat a plastic keyboard, would I? And that's literally what's happening. If you look on the side of so many vegan packages, you'll find things like, what the fuck is this stuff? This is not edible. It's something that, well, it didn't hurt an animal. It came from a laboratory. The scientists said it was okay. So you got a lot of people that are science-based vegans, and their science is bad news. Their scientism is giving them false ideas. There's no way, and I'll say it like this: there's no way the vegan diet, even though veganism isn't a diet. See, now it's confusing because it's not a diet, but they're telling you it is. Veganism is a cult, and it's an identity. There's no way it would be pushed to the point it's being pushed by popular media, unless, of course, it was causing harm so that you needed to find a solution for it later. I guarantee that 100%. What have they ever pushed in the media that didn't have, they understood that problem, reaction, solution. The problem is going to be what happens from people doing everything vegan and everything plastic and everything. It's going to cause them more health problems, but they already know that, and they already have the solution packaged up. And that's a guarantee. That's awesome, Blooming Goddess. That's awesome. But one of the Kundalini experience intends to rip me from Christianity and the world of truth and occult knowledge. That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, good, Travis. Yeah, you kind of amping me up to want to get on it again. I've been on that party all night shit though. So it's bad. I'm at the beach though, so it's kind of cleansative time. A little bit of cleansing in the ocean and stuff, and I got the 35%. I think for a gallon of it, what's it about like? I think it's about $65 for 2 gallons of hydrogen peroxide. 35%, and that's going to break it down to 10 times that. So you really getting like 20 gallons for $60 because you're not going to really want to use it. I use it in maybe 10%. Like I use hydrogen peroxide, distilled water, and then I have two kinds of. I'll go get them for you. I'll show you. So I've got these crystals. These are menthol crystals. Are they menthol or are they? No. What's that other thing? That's kind. It's an Indian. They use it in a lot of Indian stuff. It's not. It's something like menthol, but it's not menthol. It's a very similar smell. It's something that people put in toolboxes so the things won't rust. And I can get into all that. And I forget the name of it. And then I have these things. These are awesome. These are. See these crystals? Oh shit! Well, they still be minty on here. These are peppermint crystals. I thought they're all stuck together. Pretty rad, huh? And that's these. I don't know. They're so close in smell. One of them is like, one of them's peppermint, one of them's menthol, or the other thing. Well, that sucks. I gotta vacuum this couch off. It's okay. It kind of smelled like wet dog, anyways. Hold on a second, y'all. Oh, that should be just as good as putting salt all over the floor. So what I'll do is I'll take those and I'll put some of that and hydrogen peroxide, a little bit of alcohol, just some vodka, and some distilled water. Shake that shit up. That's as good as anything to keep your mouth clean. Yeah, the gallbladder and liver cleansing, depending on what kind you use. Between doing coffee enemas and doing the liver cleanse, which is grapefruit and oil. The grapefruit oil, yeah. Have fun with that one. Have fun shitting your brains out in the morning. Well, literally shitting out all the crap that's been in your gallbladder. Yeah, man, that's a really good idea. But do that after you do a couple enemas, just to clean out your intestines. I hear you. I hear you, blooming goddess. One drop in 8 ounces. Yep, there you go. That seems about right, Alan. Vibes. One drop in 8 ounces before eating. See, for me, my suggestion to people, especially trying to get healthy, is if you can't devote yourself to doing just a full-on fast, any kind, water, urine, fruit juice, and you just eat one meal a day. Eat it at sundown, and basically just have Ramadan every day. Just eat at sundown and all day fast, and you can use a lot of hydrogen peroxide during the day, a lot of hydrogen peroxide in water, and that should really speed things up. Castor oil. Travis Cup? Do you drink the castor oil or do you put it up the fucking pooper? Which way do you do it? Oh yeah, the distilled water is like distilled water is the game changer for everybody. Anybody that you know, distilled water is the only way to go. And once it comes out, if you want to be fun with it, stir it, charge it, put some crystals in it, blah blah blah. Charge it in the sunlight, do whatever you need. But distilled water by itself is good stuff. You got a water distiller for the whole house, Blooming Goddess, or do you have one just like a countertop one? Because I'm in New Orleans and the water there is pretty trashy. Like I have to clean the water distiller frequently, like probably about like every 10 times. I mean, you can let it go a little farther than that, but like in Orange Beach, the water here is fucking pretty good. Like I could drink it out of the sink. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, but the water distiller here, I think I've made like 20 things of water, and it still doesn't even have to be cleaned. But once you notice what's in the distiller after you clean a gallon of water, you're like, fuck, all of that was going in my body and my joints and all of this shit. And so some people, what they're not recognizing is they have all of that shit in their body, in their joints and in places and like all over their body. And now they start drinking clean distilled water and it starts pulling that out and they think it's like weakening them somehow or like pulling things like no, that's actually pulling shit that shouldn't be in your body out of it. Like it's not getting rid of um, it's getting rid of unusable, non-needed material. Like it'd be like if you patch something in your house, if you patched up a wall with something just for the like, or your car, you just put some duct tape on. That's basically what's happening with all of these salts and unusable inorganic minerals. So if they remove them and okay, like you might have an old broken bone that got repaired with inorganic materials. Quite honestly. I mean, think of old people. They snap their bones all the time. Little babies, they're all over the place. Their bones are malleable and move because it's living. Your body should still be like that. Everyone's body, you should be as flexible as a baby is. Babies are all blah, they're all over the place. And then as you get dehydrated and get older, they're replacing your living system with inorganic materials, which harden your bones, which is not a good idea because they're supposed to have a little bit of flex in them. It hardens your tendons, it screws up your arteries, clogs your arteries. I mean, that's all. That's all thanks to all of the metals and the salts and all of that stuff. You want to clean it out fast? Alcohol, hydrogen peroxide, urine, distilled water. I think you can get it on Amazon, but I don't get mine from Amazon, Alan. I get mine from if you just put in hydrogen peroxide food grade, you can find a couple websites, and it should be one of the first ones that comes up. And they usually have specials on getting that, and they have some other cool things that they sell. Oh man, black mold, that stuff. Yeah, I mean, the best thing to do is cleanse your body of all bacteria first. So a lot of water, hydrogen peroxide, etc. Set it clean everything out. Then introduce a lot of new good bacteria through enema and through the mouth, and that should be able to eradicate most of it rather quickly. The easiest way to get rid of anything is to starve it. So literally, a water fast will starve all of that shit. But most people don't want to go through the route of not eating and fasting on water. So the other way is to over oxygenate it and then offer good bacteria. But even offering those good bacteria, the herxomer and the reaction is going to be there's going to be a lot of waste produced. Think of it this way: if you have a house party, and you want the other there's the red faction and the blue faction, and you want one of the factions to leave, you can have a fight and to the death, and then drag everything out. That's what's happening when you introduce new bacteria, or you just stop feeding the party. But then you know what? Everybody fucking leaves, and then they just leave out the back door. It's the same thing. Go to a club. People getting dragged out the front door, just vomiting. Right? As you vomit, that's losing things out the front door. Other people just go out the back door, be done with it. So that's the difference between literally causing the fight between the bacterias, the biotics and the antibiotics, meaning not of life. Antibiotics means anti-bio, which means life. So antibiotics means anti-life. So it's killing off everything living. Or you can just starve the things that shouldn't be in there. What up, Dudley Papa Cox? Crazy like a fox out here, huh? Always. Oh yeah. Danny Scarlett, go ahead and put that and some ginger in a bath, and it will be the most. Don't do too much of it, but you'll. It's basically like your body is covered in icy hot, where you can't tell if you're hot or cold. But if you want to, it's like taking a hot shower and a cold shower at the same time. It's a completely absurd. It's absurd feeling. Don't do too much of it because that is intense. The first time I did it, I used way too much of those crystals. I did ginger, I did ginger, some cayenne, and uh, some of those crystals. Oh man, I was got out and I was like, I'm sweating, but I'm cold. But I mean, it was super healing. Like it everything that was in my body was just like it shocked everything into like okay, sweating, taking a shit. Like right afterwards, I felt amazing, but I wouldn't attempt too much of it at once. But it is a good bath. The hot and colds, or ginger and cayenne and those crystals. Wow. Anything. Wow, that's interesting. So anything with sugar is causing a reaction. Then you really need to really just do the things that will eat the sugars. Beer ferments. What you want is unpasteurized beer. You want yogurts. You want sauerkraut. You want kombucha even. You want, and so you're gonna have a whole. That's like four. That's gonna be at least probably 50 different strains of 50 different strains of cultures that are gonna be eating away all of that bad shit, right? And black mold, I think you're probably a good answer for that might be black walnut husk as well. And this is a guess, but black walnut husk is a really good just for cleansing the body, anyways. Cinnamon, um, adding those things to your diet. Yeah. Dudley, don't use the 3% because it comes in a plastic bottle and it's not food grade. You don't want to put that in your body. In fact, I wouldn't even put it on my body. It's kind of you really need to get food grade because it comes in a non it's a BPA free jug. You can get it some places in glass jugs, but they sell it by gallons in the plastic no yeah, stutter on B's BPA's, and then you just break it down yourself. It's always a smarter way to do it. Sage for black mold, yeah. The other thing to do a house cleansing is uh, Epsom salt. Get yourself a dish, stainless steel, some sort of copper, whatever, something that's going to be able to that you can put a fire in. Let's put it that way. You put say like a half a cup. Yeah, that's probably way too much. Like a quarter cup of salt, of yeah, a quarter cup of salt and a half cup of either, what is it, 90% um, isopropyl rubbing alcohol, or you can use high octane, just regular drinking alcohol. It doesn't really matter as long as you can light it on fire. And then you light that on fire, and you can choose to add a little bit of essential oils, but that will kill like energetically things in the house. I don't know about black mold and things like that, but I know it's very, very cleansing for the house. And then whenever I get to the end, as it's getting to the end, I'll take some sage and I'll throw it in there, and it'll burn the sage, and that's pretty. That's what I like doing it. Yeah, there you go, and breathe it in. Yeah, they'll get right out of the lungs for sure. 99% of all disease is cured in the head. Dudley, you are correct. You are very correct, but we're in a very physical realm, and people need physical solutions. This is why it doesn't work. All we could tell people all day that it's all in your head, which is true. It is true, but the physical reality comes in handy for people that aren't living um, outside of the matrix in 5D or whatever, or living in the ninth dimension, where you can heal yourself up there for sure. You can heal all sorts of things, spiritually, out of body, subconsciously, etc. But there's so many things that can just simply be done through the physical realm. You can heal in either direction. You can heal from the physical realm up to the spiritual realm, and you can figure which goes through the mental realm, etc., etc. Or you can heal from the mental realm into the spiritual realm, and it'll bleed into the physical realm. But 99% of disease is caused by tubes being obstructed. That's about it. If you have obstruct a pathway, then you have a dis-ease at the end of that pathway. The water is dirty, and healing doesn't occur. So from the physical realm, that's about what needs to be done. I mean, again, it can be done the other way, but it's a little more difficult for most people to do it that way. Uh, yeah, I hear you, Houston. Yeah, the Gerson therapy is good stuff. I don't agree with the whole, like, there's a lot of things in a lot of these therapies that people do that are actually just causing the therapy to need to last longer, because they come from a medical background anyways. Just do the coffee enemas. I mean, everything else within the therapy, some of it's good and some of it's actually not helpful. But because it's coming from a doctor, then it sounds more believable to some people. You know what I mean? But the coffee enemas are doing it. Yeah. The advice is fruits are the best, but now that you're saying all this other stuff, you got to cleanse first. I mean, the idea is before you start putting your house into the order that you want it, you better clean it first. You can't just be putting new things in a dirty house. So clean out your temple first, and then get to the foods that you should be eating, which will be um, living foods, sauerkrauts, things like that. I've already kind of touched on those and the fruits and everything, and those will be the most healing things. And considering you're in Houston, your diet will probably be pretty similar to mine. More fruits, um, lots of teas. You can use roots for healing. Um, Depending on the time of year, there'll be things that'll change. But for the most part, you live in a hot enough climate where you can get a fruit year round, and just eat seasonally and locally. That's the easiest way to say it. Seasonally and locally. Oh, that's interesting. It's supposedly filters fluoride. Yeah, I don't know. I've heard it does too, but I've never used that. I just use a distiller. It just kind of bypasses all the chances that it is or isn't, or that it isn't. Excuse me. Yeah, it is better to eat meat. It certainly is. As long as the meat isn't already antibiotic ridden and blah blah blah. I mean, that's just as bad. But you're looking for electrical charge and energy from something. You got third eye acupuncture. Hey, Danny Skylark, what were the? Do you know what the points were? Could you look up the points for me? I mean, I could look it up on the internet. You could just tell me what they are because I'll go and put the needles in me right now. Well, I'll do it right now on camera. Here we go. Got some needles right here. Just tell me what the points are. I don't know. I didn't know there was one for third eye activation, but I've had some really good acupuncturists do some interesting things on me. One time I was laying down up in Baltimore, and the guy put these needles in me that right around my stomach, right on my dantian, and with my eyes closed, all of a sudden my body felt like it was as big as the room. It was really crazy. Like my entire auric field and spiritual body became the size of the entire room. It was pretty awesome. I was like, what? And I did have somebody work on me when I was in Bloomington, Indiana, with a massage that definitely was throwing around some energy. And after I got the massage, I could see auric fields of everything. Like I was just like sitting there going, okay, I can see the aura of that picture in front of me and in the book. And like people, I was like, oh, I can see the color of someone's aura. Like usually I can see like a field around somebody, but like just right away, like everything. It was pretty awesome. Oh yeah, yeah. You could get a lot of detox symptoms from urine fasting. That really speeds up something. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's a lot of things that go on during a cleanse. Like if you're cleaning a dirty house, it might look kind of everything's in order, and all of a sudden you start picking this thing up, and there's dust everywhere, and then you sneeze in. And the same thing's happening in your body. You start moving some things. You might break something else. Something you're trying to take this shit out the back door, and you drop it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's literally happening in your body. What's up, Bice Berry? Oh, you're welcome, of course. Yeah. Yeah, the whole house is stupid expensive. No, no, a countertop one does the job, man. A countertop one works for two people and a dog pretty well. And the one that I have in New Orleans is the Mega Home, and it's very loud, and it's a little slower. It was like 200 bucks, the Mega Home. It's loud and it's a little slower. The one that I have here is this cheap ass white one. I think it will probably, shit out sooner because it's made of thinner gauge stainless steel, but it's very quiet, and it does a gallon probably an hour faster. So that's pretty cool. And it was only 100 bucks. I don't remember what it's called, but if you look on Amazon, there's only really like four different kinds on there. You'll see the difference. But yeah, that's a 1 gallon water distiller is more than enough. What's up, Damien? How you doing, man? You have to clean every 3 days, every 3 days of using it. That's crazy. Like I'd probably let mine go a little too. Do you have a TDS meter? Do you check the quality of the water? Um, you know, because you might not need to clean it as often as you think. I mean, maybe you do. I mean, I just know I let mine go a little longer until the lime scale kind of builds up on the sides. Or is that happening in 3 days? Because if it is, that's crazy. And if you do have a TDS meter, what's the TDS of the water coming out of the faucet? What's up, David Mannion? Hey, Blooming Goddess, are you putting all the dot dot? Are you putting all the stars after the word fucking and shit, or is the computer doing that? Because you're allowed to. It's okay. You can write fucking in there unless they're doing that, and we're okay with swearing here. I don't know if you've heard me talk before. What's up, Laura Kraft? Yeah. Well, yeah, the medications and all the other shit in the water. Yeah, this is why I just go straight for the distiller because you're getting 100% of the garbage out of it. What's up, Caryi? What's up? Um, the best use for aged urine from March, massage. Do go into your bathtub before you take a shower, and just go ahead and. I mean, you might it might be a little it's a little chilly if you do it at room temperature. I would heat it up slightly. Put it in a glass jar. I have mine in a spray bottle, a brown spray bottle, brown glass spray bottle, and if I put it in some water and heat it up a little bit and get it to a nice like body temperature, then I can go in the tub. If not, it's a little chilly on the skin, but if you can deal with it, you can deal with it. And warming it up a little bit will help it get into the body a little quicker. And that aged urine is going to have a lot higher pH, so it's going to be very ammonia rich, depending on when you capped it off. As you turn it from aerobic breathing to anaerobic breathing, you're changing the way it's processing it. At first, you want to ferment it like beer, and once it gets to a certain point, then you twist the cap on, and from that point, it's anaerobically breathing, and it's causing a lot more ammonia to get in there. So it's a little different depending on when you put the cap on. But nonetheless, either way, you're gonna put it on the skin and massage it in, and then because the smell will go away after a few minutes, maybe 15 minutes. But if you got to go out in public or for something, I usually end up just showering afterwards, and getting the little bit of leftover ammonia smell off of me. But that's the best thing to do. Anybody that's done it basically says the most important part of urine therapy is on the skin. I mean, you'll notice you'll notice it quickest. You'll notice wrinkles start to go away. You'll notice your skin become a lot more taut. Your skin will become softer, and it will brighten up your eyesight and clean things out a lot quicker because you're bypassing. Not only are you adding a higher pH, but you're bypassing the process of digestion. So if I drink some piss, still has to digest it. You know what I mean? You can even drink. You can drink diluted aged urine. I've done it, and it basically had me have pretty intense dreams that night, like out of body quickly. And I think there's a few people that have done it. Wiley Schmidt's done it, um, David Phillips, and a couple other people. And they say, like, you dilute it, it's really strong, but it's very, very, very cleansing. But I would just rather put it on my skin. That way, it bypasses all of the digestion processes. Alive and awake, you just use your bodies. That's the way to go, man. I mean, if you can find yourself $100 and want to go through that, but piss is just as good, if not better. Yeah, um, is just measuring particulate matter, but not stuff that doesn't conduct electricity. Interesting. So I guess you're only getting part of the story there. There's also something called an ORP meter, ORP, oxidation reduction potential. That's another. If you'd like to be scientific and have little scientific proofs of things, you can look into those. Those are not that expensive, and that's giving you some ideas of the the oxidation reduction potential. That's basically what it is. So certain elements will be more oxidizing. Now it's very important to note that a lot of people need oxidating materials in their body because they have a lot of things in their body that literally need to be oxidized to be removed. When you breathe, you're causing oxygenation. When you put H2O2 in, that's very oxidizing. Yes? So even, and this is why you can even do Coca-Cola cleanses, because the Coca-Cola is very oxidizing. It will. I mean, I wouldn't drink it every day because it's going to do other bad things to your body, but it's certainly going to help with. I believe it's the. Is it the kidney cleanse? It's going to be doing a lot on the kidney cleanse. I think it's called the Coca-Cola kidney cleanse. And look into that. But again, a lot of the initial part for people is doing things that are increasing oxidation. Now, once you get cleansed, then you want to eliminate things that are going to be doing that. Then you can add green tea. But people will say, oh, green tea is healthy because it doesn't oxidize the body and it's very. But in reality, like, no, you want things in your body that help remove all of these old metals that need to be pulled apart because you won't be able to get it out of your body unless they're oxidized. Every time you breathe, you're oxidizing something. So there's a little dip into TDS and ORP. Alan Vibes, did you write fucking motherfucker right there? Carl Yee. Have I done DMT or ayahuasca? I say that I don't do drugs. I am drugs, and I pretty much drip DMT all the time, anyways. Like it's not all the time, but when I'm healthy, like it's a little more noticeable in my mind, in my dream world. I mean, if you're dreaming and get out of body, and you can start to have really clean, clear, hypnagogic imagery. That's pretty much your pineal gland and DMT being working. So I don't really. I mean, it's in everything we eat, anyways. If you're eating plant life, it's in plant life, so you're consuming it. Have I ever done it? No. I have, because I always said it would come to me whenever it should, and it recently did. But I was like, I left it up to the person that asked me, and I was like, well, if they get back at me again, I'll go and do that with them. But it just hasn't presented itself. I just kind of I just get it out of. I have so many different. I could show you all of my different kinds of herbs and things. I have things that make similar stuff to ayahuasca. So, no, I've never done either of those, but I've done analogs, put it that way. Yeah, let it breathe. You want it to breathe for the first couple weeks, and then after that, you would tighten it. If you tighten it too quickly, it hasn't been processed enough, and this you'll notice. You'll know if you did it wrong. It will smell awful. That's always the thing. I've if you put it in a dirty glass jar, it's usually bacteria that gets at it. If it's a dirty jar and it's too hot, the best way to do it is once you get one batch going that already is pretty ammonia rich, then add everything to that, because then that's going to shock it. The ammonia is going to shock it, and it's not going to allow it to go bad. Because you'll know if you if you've had I've had it happen before, and it's awful smelling. You know right away. You close it and you throw that the fuck out. But most of the time it's hard to fuck it up. Yeah, Epsom salt and alcohol is the way to go. Burn that shit. You dilute. I would do one drop in an eye cup with everything else. With the age stuff. I'd be careful with that. I would say if you're gonna drink it, dilute it quite a bit. Start with a couple drops. Like for me, I'm a maniac. I did like a half a shot, a half a shot with like a cup of fresh piss. That was probably a bad idea, or a good idea. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like I wouldn't suggest that to anybody. But I was already in a decent frame of health, and so it didn't really have that much. It didn't have a bad effect. It had a very good effect on me. But you know, if someone that has a bunch of dirty systems in their body, they can cause a lot of harm. And putting it in the eye, the safest thing to put in your eye is fresh urine and maybe a drop of cayenne. Cayenne does not damage any of the cellular cells in the body. I don't care how hot it is. All it does is it cleanses them. It basically causes the cell to release whatever's in it. So it can't injure you. Capsicum is very good. Capsicum is very good if someone's having a heart attack. Fucking put a hot pepper in their goddamn mouth. They'll save their life. No, for real. Um, what else? But anyways, a drop of that and some eye bright. It's like I made an eye bright formula. Make an alcohol decoction. Extraction. Excuse me. You extract the eye bright and then put some cayenne in there. A drop of cayenne, some eye bright, and some urine. That'll clean your eye right up. Oh, so you said in the forehead, 3 in the forehead and 2 in the ear. Do you remember what spots? If I showed you a chart, could you tell me what they were? Or give me a close semblance of where they were? I'll go grab my chart and you tell me where they are. Well, let me get to the bottom of the comments here. And I'll ask you again, Danny. Oh man, Blooming Goddess. Yeah, if it was during an eclipse too. Oh yeah. I mean, you already have the eclipse working on your body, pulling out toxin. This is when the worms come out. Is when there's an eclipse or a full moon. So yeah. Well, that's good, Blooming Goddess. That's cool. Yeah, a lot of you can check out the movie. It's called Emotion Code. Um, because your memories, traumas are stored in your body. It's not stored in your mind per se. This is just a processing center. So I didn't say this, excuse me. It's not stored in your brain. Your mind is out here, so it's not stored in your brain. It's stored in your body, in fat cells and in different cancers and whatnot, injuries even. So these are stored memory charges that hold on to. Say you get angry, 10 years ago you got angry at dad for yelling at you about this and it was bad, blah blah blah. So you ate your emotion. All of a sudden that it was releasing a memory that was held, say, in some serotonin or something into your body, and it's binding with that fat, and then your DNA gets so tense that it binds up and it binds that fat molecule together, and your DNA gets wound up with that fat molecule and holds it there as a memory, as literally a microcosm of that memory that isn't in here but is actually stored down here. And then you go and you fast or you detox, it opens that up and it goes and it floods through your entire system and goes through your imaging center, let's put it that way, and you have your emotional center, and so you're working on your emotional body and past things within that are held and stored as fats and cancers and whatnot in the body. And you can get through those through breathing. You can get through those through different fasting is one way to do it. You can get through it in the like you can get through it in the spiritual realm too. This is why some people do ayahuasca, and then they spiritually do something and they release all. The first thing you do is you fucking vomit, so you're already cleansing something out of your system. You've already done that. You take the ayahuasca, and so all of a sudden breaking things down. All of a sudden you're throwing things up, and then some people got to go shit. It's cleansing. It's a very bitter medicine. So find things that are just bitter. Bitter are going to help clean the kidneys, and the kidneys are a storehouse for a lot of tension. Kidneys have a lot of storage of emotional baggage and traumas. So people with kidney problems, they have a lot of. I believe the kidneys. I think Danny could correct me if I'm wrong here, but our kidneys are connected to guilt, and I don't know. I don't know what other emotions, but so bitter elements will help release those things. And most people have a hard time swallowing bitter pills. If we think about that, even the terminology. But see, for a long time, I've used bitter elements. My kidneys are pretty clean. Every once in a while, put some fats and shit in my body and clog those up. But your kidneys are connected to your eyes, are connected to your ovaries, are connected to your testicles if you're a dude. So those things kind of connect, and it's also connected to childhood, usually, childhood guilt issues and shit like that, which a lot of guilt is held within the sexual organs, which is connected to the kidneys. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense. Meditate in the middle of the night, you have a study start. Hey, those are fun, aren't they? Had plenty of those. That's awesome, Blooming Goddess. That's cool. Reiki is fun. Reiki is a lot of fun. Tarot reader and secrets of occult knowledge. Yeah. Well, you said, come to find out it's in my Vedic birth chart. Become a Reiki master, tarot reader, and secrets of occult knowledge. Here, you want me to pull you? You want me to pull you? Hey, Blooming Goddess, you want me to pull you a tarot card? I got a new deck. Yeah, they all link up. That's for sure. Yeah, Danny, I got some cups here. They're pretty awesome. I wish I had somebody I've had people over the years, like, that I trusted with cups and even to wet cup me, but like I can't put them on my back, like, and it's very funny. Ami's very much like against, like, she's like, ugh, cupping, it's kind of weird. Like, I was like, oh. So every once in a while I find people that we can play around with the cups with. What's up, Nathan Lopez? Yeah, yeah. The mega hum is pretty loud. Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. It definitely leaks back in there. Oh, your voice texting me. That's cool though. That's cool. Voice texting is awesome. So what you're saying, you actually saying fucking, and it's like bam bam bam. If you need to next time, you really need to say it. Say F dot U dot C dot. What up, Nathan? What's going on? So here, Danny, I'm gonna go grab my chart, and oh, here's something y'all can get for yourselves. But if you can't get to um, if you can't get to an acupuncturist, get one of these mats, man, and lay down on these flat. That's good stuff right there. That will balance your body up pretty quickly. So here, all right, Danny, tell me the spots. Tell me where they are. Let me see if I can put this on here for you. Tell me where they are. Which meridian? Which dot? I'm guessing it's probably you probably did gallbladder meridians, and then you probably did the gallbladder and the head and the um well, you might have done the ear gates and the triple warmer. I'm guessing. What was am I right there? Is it it was the two gallbladders? Which one? The two number 14, right? There's the two right there. Right there. Uh-huh. And then the ear. Well, you said, was it three in the forehead? Because if it was three in the forehead, then you would have done the governor vessel, which actually would have been in the hairline. Um, the anterior summit of the governing vessel. That would be farther back. That would work, I think. Or you'd use or did you just use the third eye spot, which makes more sense. Yeah, you did that one right there, just the third eye spot and those two. And then the ear, you probably did the triple warmer here, and then that spot up here, right there, like at the top. Is that right? Maybe. I'll do it to myself right on here. Stick some needles in my face for you guys. Well, you know what? Now you can. I think it's all. You know what? Blooming goddess. I think it's all. Now you get to experiment on yourself. That's kind of what the wild ones do, or the intelligent ones. Like if everybody else is gonna be testing this shit on me, I'll just test it on myself. So one of my favorite rappers is from Houston. He ain't even got. I don't even think he got an album out, but he's fucking awesome. I'll have to show you his channel sometime. He's pretty hilarious. So and he's quite funny too. Yeah, distilled water is good stuff. The distilled liquids. Hmm. So what else is up in here? What y'all want to know? I got a little bit. I got a little more time. Let me see what the sun looks like. Give me 1 second. Let me see what the sun is in the sky. Take y'all to the beach maybe. Laura Kraft. All beer is good for you. I wouldn't overdo it with IPAs because there's going to be a lot more estrogen precursors for estrogen hormones in it, and that can make a man less. It'll make a man more feministic, right? And it will overburden a woman with estrogen. So I would stay away from IPAs because hops they have all the precursors for estrogen. Um, the best kinds of beers are going to be unfiltered and unpasteurized. So it's going to be hard. It's depending on where you live. It can be difficult to find unpasteurized beer, but that's the way to go because that's where all the good living stuff is. But just from the sense of it being alcohol, it's going to be very cleansing to the body. So there's really not bad beer per se. Um, Although stay away from malt liquor. Not a great idea. Um, and obviously, if you're going to get into vodkas and things like that, if you go to higher um, octane, find the things that are distilled more, quadruple, 5 time distilled, just because it's cleaner. Just like water, it's the same thing. You want it cleaner, the better. And unless you want to add elements to your body, stay away from anything dark. If you don't if you don't like playing with the spirits, then stay away from the dark stuff. Just use the clear stuff to help cleanse you, and don't use a lot of it. But beers, yeah, you'd be pretty good with just about anything. Yeah, Laura. Yeah, or else you have a relation. Shit. Figure that one out. My favorite Dane Cook joke right there. Oh, you want me to get cards out? Okie dokie. Let's see what I got here. Well, which deck does anybody want to play with? We've got we've got my deck, the Golden Tsar deck. We've got the Cook's Tarot. These are pretty amazing cards. These things, pretty awesome. And we have the Wildwood Tarot. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. And then my newest addition, which I think are fucking hilariously awesome, because I've always told people I only work with the major arcana. I mean, fucking minor league, I mean major league with everything. And somebody gave me this deck. It is only the major arcana, which is hilarious. Because I was like, I wonder if they make that. And they do. And they're very fun cards. And it's from this cartoon called Gravity Falls, which is funny that they made these because they obviously made the cartoon off of the tarot. If they already knew that everybody in the show had a specific thing, they must have written it through using tarot to begin with. You know, obviously a lot of these people in the business, Hollywood, the cartoon industry, all of this, they already are familiar with the occult works and the philosophy, psychology, Jungian philosophy, and archetypes and things like this. So that's awesome. I like that. It's a fun card right here. The Fools, yeah. And right in the middle of the forehead was the other one. Yes. So that is the third eye point. These two are gallbladder points, and then you have these two here. I'm guessing, or were they somewhere else in the ear? There's a few more points in the ear. Let me go grab something else and see if you can fit. I mean, I guess I could figure it out or just look it up, but was there a, hey Danny, do you remember if there was a certain name for it? Like, did he say this is called the whatever, like, I mean, there's third eye points and there's sometimes there's like a name for what they're doing. Let me go get this other book real quick. The pictorial atlas of acupuncture. Let's see. Let's see ear points. Hold on a second. Oh, nice. I love it when you just open up a picture and it's like a butthole or something. This one is pretty in depth. Like, there's this one spot that I did on myself. I don't know if you know what it is called, but it's in the conception vessel. It's basically in your taint. It's quite an interesting spot. You can release a lot of tension. Yeah, it's cool. Butthole picture right there. I'm not looking for buttholes right now. I'm looking for ears. Oh, here we go. Ooh, that one's tough. There's a point inside the nostril right here, right over here. That looks like it would be very interesting. Well, this one even gets into tongue acupuncture points. Ooh. The peculiar to the lumbar region, Yao Kui, epilepsy and headaches. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Yeah, I don't know how they didn't really set it. They set this book up a little different, and I can't really find the ear points on here. Okay, I see how they set it up. Here we go. Maybe something just in the gallbladder. Yep. Yeah, the yang B, the white yang point above the pupil clears eyesight, clears heat and sharpens eyesight, which is that gallbladder point. And the other gallbladder point is Let's see. Which is Ting Hu, the meeting of hearing. I also use moxibustion on it. Oh, there it is. All right. This one's different. I didn't realize this is a Xin Chao channel. Chao 21. The ear gate. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Where are we at here? Between the eyebrows. Yeah, that's the one. You can over cleanse. I've done that plenty of times. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you there. Yeah, the magnet. What kind of magnets do you use? You ring magnets, or do you use a? Here's one. Do you use a big? I can't get it too close to the computer because it's fucking strong. Fucking end up breaking this shit. Here, put it back here. You got ring magnets, and you got this big effer right here. You can put that like that. You can actually feel that immediately. But anyways, you should all look into getting one of these big, one of these rare earth. Is that what this one is? Yeah. Leave that on the refrigerator. Actually broke a computer with one of those fucking things one time. I just totally forgot I had it sitting there, and I put my computer. I was like, oh, and I've totally broke that. Yeah, man, that's awesome. Funny that you knew to do that. Yeah, IPAs are way too. I mean, they're cool once in a while. Like if you need to take a nap, or if you want to just like, I mean, they can be emotionally releasing. But like, look at the dudes that always be drinking IPAs, long, skinny, very effeminate types. I mean, they probably already were to begin with, but they're kind of like them hipsters, like tiny jeans and all that shit. You know, the connection to that is pretty deep to the church. It kind of goes, if you look up Stephen Herod Buhner and his book, the healing and herbal beers, sacred healing and herbal beers. That I believe that's it. And he talks about the connection to the church, basically putting hops in beers to make men less sexual and less masculine. Really to just kind of the original fluoride. In fact, if you really think about it, makes people docile, make them more effeminate. Uh, nice, dude. A stroke and an aneurysm, aren't those fun? Do you want me to stick needles in my face right now and see what happens? Yeah, that's a 12,000 Gauss Earth magic. I don't know what the Gauss on that block is, but it's pretty strong. Okay, Travis, run it from front to back. I'll do that in a second. I'll put some needles in my head and do it. What up, Leo? That's probably what that is. Rare earth. Down low on your ears. Okay, in here. No needles. Don't do needles. No, I wasn't talking about those needles. Acupuncture needles, man. Yeah, Miller Lite. Like I assume there's obviously connections to who's brewing it and their purpose, because you can instill purpose in. But you could also, um, I've done this for people. I've taken a glass of. I've taken 2 glasses. Had somebody pour 2 glasses of, say, scotch, shitty scotch or brandy, or you can use just about anything, and I'll put chi into one of them. I'll put Reiki chi energy into one of them, and then I'll have them drink the first one. Say, what does it taste like? Drink the second one, and it's significantly different. You can cleanse so you could do that with your beer too, or you could just buy better beer. And I think the problem with most things that are coming out of a can, if we go a little farther here, the aluminum cans, that ain't right. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be just adding a little more aluminum to your system, which probably isn't a great idea. So glass bottles are better, and there's a reason for brown bottles, brown over green. So brown bottled beer is going to be better than green bottled beer for a lot of reasons too. And if you can find blue bottled beer, that's going to be even better. It's the kind of light that it's letting in and how much it's eating away at certain types of frequency within the beer. That's why when you drink green bottled beers, it has a certain skunky flavor. You back in the building, Marie. Mary Kirby. There you go, Blooming Goddess. There you go with the narcissist. Yeah, a lot of people ask me like, "Oh, who's the original narcissist in your family?" Like, I don't know who the fuck wasn't. I mean, just to what? For me, it's like everyone has tendencies towards that, but some people are more narcissistic than others. And yeah, both of my parents were, but for different reasons and in different ways. And that's connected definitely to the guilt thing for sure. So you wear magnets on the wrist. Is that what you're saying? You could amplify that. Take some copper plus the magnets. You're gonna be doing even more, energetic work. You said, I wonder how he'd feel about doing your taint. Well, if Danny, if you ever need someone to stick a needle in your taint, I'd be happy to do it for you. I've already tried it on myself, so it's very interesting feeling. Okay, do that thing back and forth like 3 times. Yeah, I'll check it out. I'll do it in a second. I don't want to have it around my electronics right now because it already made me feel a little like uncomfortable because yeah, I dropped that fucking thing and the strength of it is enough to fuck my phone up, from a very short distance. I've already done it. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You thought it was I mean, that's always dropped down. The sins of the father are always built into the children, right? I mean, that's mostly what's going on. Like Christianity is like the original narcissistic religion. Patriarchy is the narcissists. But we'll leave that for another show. I don't want to we don't want to get too deep into that. But I think everybody here already kind of we've gone over that kind of shit plenty of times. So everybody's pretty well versed on the what religion is doing or has done. Uh, Blooming Goddess, you said, give me a Freddy chair. Freddy, please, dude. Did you say some scrambled egg? Wait, scrambled cheese brews? Scrambled cheese brews. There we go. Oh, there you go. Yeah, okay, a tarot card. I'll do that. Yeah, urine in a blue or a brown bottle is best. Blue or brown, they're both be fine. Blue is the best though, because of the light spectrum that it's resisting letting in. I forget why exactly, but I know that different uh, bandwidth of light is going to go through a blue bottle versus a brown bottle. I mean, I assume the best would be a completely cobalt black. I mean, it's like cobalt blue, but like even a black, even with that would probably be the best. But yeah, healing people is interesting work. Remember breathing patterns when you're healing people. I've done some healing on people, and I absorb their energy. I absorb people's energy too much, and that's why, going to a city where a lot of people need fucking healing, like New Orleans, magical city, but people are fucking people are when they come there, they're trying to release the demons of their city life wherever else they live, and then you have everybody else there that is doing healing work that needs healing, and then me. So for me, coming to the beach is my therapy. Throw myself in the ocean, and get a lot of sunshine, and that's my healing work. But when you get into healing work, the biggest thing is to remember to ground yourself out and breathe properly. And some of the first times I was healing people and doing Reiki work on people, I didn't. I'd forgot to breathe a few times, and I'd collected a lot of energy off of people, and it's pretty intense. Especially when you're dealing like then instead of just processing their energy through you, you kind of get stuck somewhere in you. And that can be interesting. So get to know your breathing patterns first. Nice. Nathan Lopez. I would go to the best teacher for that is probably going to be Santos Bonacci and just listen to his work. I I am a little I'm a little fish as far as it comes to like I can teach why astrology works and how it works. In fact, I'm going to do a video on teaching people that want to start a business how to run a business based upon people's birth signs and shit. I mean, I could make a video about that in an hour, like in an hour from now. Like I already got it, but I couldn't tell you about all that shit. That's not my specialty by any means. I don't know about the. I know about if you were born on and the seed should be rising. I get all of that, but I don't. I couldn't instruct you perfectly on that. Because really for me, I don't think you need to. That's helpful, but you don't need to do it that way. It's just easier to do it that way. Your cranial sutures. Yep. Yeah. The I like putting it on the back of my neck sometimes when I'm sleeping. That's kind of weird. Ooh, there, go fix that. And I'll pull you a card in a second here, blooming goddess. What's up, Laverne Webb? I hear you, Leo. Yeah, I mean, you put it in a Red Bull can, you already got some garbage from the Red Bull plus the aluminum. Yeah, yeah. Santos is good as far as it comes to all of the astrology and shit, man. Yeah, D'Lo, he's fun. I only follow him. I only check him from time to time. He wild for me. Like I already have that wild ass energy in me anyway. So like I'd probably dig him in person, but as far as teachings and things, when you can hang out with people on your same level, but like you already have the same types of learnings. Yeah, I dig D'Lo. That's cool, alive and awake. So here, which cards do you want? Um, Blooming Goddess. Which cards do you want? You want these? Do you want my deck, which is really my favorite deck, just because it's the Golden Czar, the Czar's. But I have been enjoying these. Have been really cool. The Wildwood, and these are very fun and playful as well. So, which deck you want? Yeah, you know what? The fool that continues in his folly will become wise. What time are you looking at here? Give me 1 second, guys. Let me go re-up on my tea. Yeah, the Cook Star was fun. Haven't used it that much because the cards are so glossy. They kind of stick together and they're kind of funky in my hands. And they're a different style of reading. They're a lot more feminine because the woman that made them So there's a lot more feminine energy in them, and I'm not used to using uh, tarot decks that are more feminine energy. So they've just been a little bit more getting used to even holding the cards themselves. I mean, I've used some very high level witch decks that are like, I mean, those are fine in my hands, but like these are very earthy ones, and even the cards themselves have an earthy feel to them. And these ones I've always liked just because they're obviously royalty. And these are fun just because they're fucking, they're, like you really can't go wrong with cartoons, you know. Look at that one. That was fun. And I had never really seen this cartoon before. I still haven't seen it. I've seen bits and pieces of it. You know, I knew it existed, but I just didn't. Never really watched it. So let me go re-up on my tea real quick. It's interesting. Caitlin Rowland. I wonder if that's connected to if anybody, or is that Royland, or is it the same person? Um, the other artist, the dude, what's his name? Maybe you can help me out. Caitlin Rowland. What the fucking cartoon does he do? Give me one second, y'all. Be right back. Yeah, Nathan and Laverne and Blooming Goddess. You're gonna have to put some pictures up soon. We can't have all these just no named, just an N there. How dare you, Nathan? Just put a picture up. I don't even care what it is. Freemasonry audiobooks. June sleep paralysis. That's interesting, Daniel Benson. I mean, I've had all sorts of different kinds of information, but get me into sleep, information, sounds, audio, things like that. Yeah. Oh, I'm Divine Hazel. I'm sure. I'm not. Well, but are you Divine Hazel? I've never seen you before. Let me clean up here while I'm uh, waiting for Goddess to come back to tell me what cards she wants me to use. Before I spill things. Maybe I'll do a whole broadcast on all of the cool tools that I have, all of my all of my all of my oils and my things in the alchemical closet, and all of my toys and things that used for healing. One of my favorite ones is this thing right here. It's for your feet. Ah, it's fucking fantastic. Get all those little crunchies and knots at the bottom of your feet. Especially good for, for basically anybody. You know, kind of diets people have. Your blood gets all thick, sticking in your feet. So what's up? I think I'm just gonna pull one card out anyways, just for fun. See what kind of day I'm gonna have. Do you know what I require this evening? Let's see if I can find that. Going to ask the deck to tell me about my evening, what I should do, and if I can participate in some shenanigans. Oh, what a very interesting card. The 14th card of the Major Arcana. Temperance. Anybody want me to pull them a card? You get to choose the deck and the question. Play with these for a little while here. Oh, Danny does? Danny, which you want me to put? Which deck you want me to pull from? 22 cards. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. No, come on. I must find the other one. Laura Craft, you're welcome. What has happened here? Where has it gone? How am I missing one of my major arcana? This is not possible. This is malarkey. Fucking malarkey. You know, that shit happens. Yeah, don't eat and watch yourself get stronger. I don't eat, just drink like a Somalian sommelier, huh? I'm just gonna count these cards again because I must have lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 21. This is slightly irritating, huh? in this book, maybe. Oh, this is what? How could something like this occur? How could this occur? I guess I can't read from this deck right now. Missing one. Well, I'll pull from one of these decks for Danny. You want me to pull you a card? Is that what you just asked? Hey, we all got our craziness, huh? So, hey, which deck you want? You can't have this one though, because apparently, unless it's in one of these other boxes, it has jumped out of the deck and into my house in my domicile in New Orleans. What did it go under here? Yeah, I'm guessing that, but I mean, I could have like been reading and put it down, and it was under the box before I left. Like, I have my little blue table that I use in New Orleans. I might just find out which card it is and then find it, find it in my mind. Yeah. Well, can't have this deck right now. So sorry. And I like that. Leo said, yes, I am sure you would like a card. Okay, let's see about this deck. See if it's in here. Does anybody know? You think I could? You think I could? Like, if I can't find that card, you think they would send me my one single card? I could probably try, I guess, huh? All right, we gonna watch this happen, and I might. This would be funny as all balls. This would be funny. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there it is. That's why. Got it. Told you. See, these ones are tough. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. That's very funny. I pulled them out. I pulled out exactly 22 cards, and I pulled out exactly the major arcana. One of them was stuck together in this deck. That's why I don't really use it so glossy. So here we go. Could I make a deck myself? I've been wanting to. I need a couple people to do some art for it, but I already have it planned out. I already know how it needs to look. To redo a tarot, like, it's gonna be completely brand new, like no one's ever seen before. Using all sorts of cool things like the proper kind of you go micro ionized or micro ionized bits of certain kinds of crystals. So each card will have, that will be the ink. It'll be inked into it, and they won't be shaped like this, and they'll be slightly different. We're not going to be using the exact same types of cards or the same number. The cell salts are great, but you should be getting them from food. I don't know that the cell salts that you're getting from, say, like the Schussler's or the other other cell salts are going to be doing the job they need to be doing in your body. They could be, but if they're inorganic, then they're not. Then it's more mentally you're using you're going, oh, cell salts are very important. I mean, which they are. He got it. Okay, then I'm gonna use these for you. Um, yeah, cell salts are very important, and George Carey seems to be pretty right on with everything he's doing. Like, facial diagnostics and those connected with the cell salts and everything. It's all excellent work, but I just don't know if the way to get them is through the cell salt containers. I would just go and find the foods that have those things in, because then you're assured that it's bioavailable. Yeah, I mean they could be, because they could be useful. Your body could be mirroring them and making them inside, because I doubt they're using the actual salt that you're getting out of them, because most of them are based in milk. So they dry up the lactose, and they use lactose as the delivery system. And I don't know if that's going to be, useful. I know that I was using them for a while, and I got some arthritis in my knuckles. Like, it was getting stuck up in my joints because it was inorganic. It appeared to me, at least. So I hope that answers that question. If it's working for you, then continue with it. But at the same time, I would just go find the foods. Leo, that's fucking awesome. I appreciate it, man. That's fucking radical. Uh, and Moldavite, I've been near Moldavite many a times, and it has a profound effect on my energetic. Like, if I go into I go into some shops in New Orleans, I'll be day out drinking and hanging out with people, and I've like gone in places hung over, and I put my hand near certain stones, I'll get near the Moldavite, and it will just literally make me almost kind of vomit. It's very powerful. So I definitely can feel Moldavite. And I had Moldavite. Funny enough, 2 years ago at Mardi Gras, I went to the bar talking to this dude, and we just had this wild ass conversation for like 3 4 hours, drinking and having a good old time. And the dude had Moldavite earrings. We got on the subject of that, and he goes, "You know what, man?" He pulls his earrings out, and he goes, do you have holes?" I was like, "Yeah, actually, I got holes in each of these ears. I haven't worn earrings in the longest." He's like, "Dude, fucking here you go, man." I was like, "Dude, you're getting me your Moldavite earrings," and he wore it, and then I wore it for a couple days, and they were awesome. I had these crazy weird experiences, but then lost them. They just got lost. And usually with stones, they get lost if they're supposed to get lost and move on to somebody else. Most everything I get is just I carry it for a second, use the energy, and it finds a new home. So here you go. For Danny, am I asking the question, or are you going to hold the question in your head, Danny, and I'll just pick a card for you, because it's going to be that one right there. I already know. This is the answer to your query. You can ask anything you want, but I already know the question because I have the answer. Womp, womp, womp. Oh, no, no. Yeah, I mean, I love it. I mean, if I had it on a pendant, I'd probably wear it differently. You know what I mean? Like, but earrings, I just hadn't worn them in so long, and you go out and sleep in some random's bed, do some wild things, and earrings fall off, huh? But a necklace, I would wear it differently for sure. You know what I mean? I haven't worn earrings in like 20 years. Well, like, I mean, not 20 years, but well, shit, yeah, I guess almost 20 years. And so, what's up, Danny? You still here? You want this? You want this card? What are you doing? Identify yourself. What are you doing? I'm gonna give this card away if you don't come back here. No, I mean, but Leo, I like the energy when I'm sober. It was just so like prohibitively expensive whenever I go into the shop, because it was a shop in the French market, so everything had a premium on it, and I don't trust off of Amazon, because if I can't be near it and feel it and look at it, I mean, I don't know what the fuck I'm getting. I could be getting a piece of glass from a Heineken bottle. I'm just lay that card there for now. Anybody else want a card? As Danny's sitting here, not here anymore. I guess she's lost in the giant internet. She's like in Tron's world right now. Yeah, when people talk about bioavailability, I mean, you could get the cell salts from going into the ocean, electrically charging yourself with the sun in the ocean. It's going to do this very similar thing. You know, you can take, you know, they've done this countless times. You go in a laboratory, take some distilled water, put it into a hermetically sealed glass container that is completely distilled, and then they'll shine light into it, and the light will cause it to ionize different elements into the water. So consider your body the same thing. This is why people can be breatharian. But again, if you're breatharian, you have to have clean water in your body to begin with. You have to know how to cycle your urine internally, and you need to get enough sunlight through these portals and just on your skin. Okay, Jude Meister, we'll do that. Well, Blooming Goddess, I do have a place here, extra bedroom. If you ever need healing work, it's always available. Anybody out here knows that. My place, my Mikasa Sukasa, and come through. You want some healing work? I'm at the beach right now. I'm here for, I mean, a couple. I don't know how long I'll stay here. So, ain't too far from Houston. What's Houston like? 6 hours from New Orleans? You're about 9 hours from here by car. Or you could fly into Pensacola. I mean, I don't know what the fuck you got going on. But that is an option. Oh, what you talking about? Damn, you fucked up the chat. What you talking about, Leo? Why'd you fuck up? Hey, Jude Meister, I'm gonna pull you a card from. I guess I gotta pull it from my deck because I already pulled one for Danny if she comes back. But apparently, is it 90? It's 92 where you are. Is that what you're saying? I think it's about that right now. I think it's about 92 here, even with no sun out. Let's see. All right, this card, and because you already know how the game is played, Jude Meister, I'll just pull a card for you. You already have your query into the infinite abyss, and here is your answer that you're looking for. The number 20 in this deck. Number 20 is the Judgment. Garrett, il Guidizio, le Judgment, el Juicio. I like it. Yeah, you should have. Jude Meister, you should have come through. What the hell are you doing? ATL is only like 6 hour drive. I think it's about 6 hours from here, about 7 from New Orleans. Let's see what it is in this deck. I don't know. You know how they're. Interesting smell. Improved position, rebirth, conscience, and recovery. So there, that's an awesome one. I don't know what you was asking, but that is your answer. Okay. So hey, Blooming. So I'm gonna pick from the same deck because that seems correct right now because it's out. Yeah, I got Blooming Goddess's card, then I got yours, David Mannion. You got. If your question is in mind, here is your answer. I ain't even gonna bury this one. We're gonna take it right off the top. There's your answer, blooming goddess. It's the Fool. One of my favorite cards in this deck. My man is dancing. He's dancing with little, little dog biting his ankle. Like, oh. It's called Il Mato, the Fool, the Fou, El Loco de Renar. That's a fun one. So whatever your question was, if you did have one, the answer is the Fool, which is in this deck it's called the possession of Gersa, and a recovery of psychological and physiological facilities and a return to health. That's what that is. So interesting. Awesome beer. That sounds good. I don't know the CERN Abbas. I don't know them. You finally get to talk to me. Here I am. At your disposal. I love how the it's not getting your words correct. Is English your first language, or is it's just not it's not picking up on every word correctly? And oh, Danny's back. Hey, I'll pull you. Here's your card, Danny. Oh, me always here. Here you go. There's your answer. The Magician. Out of this fancy one. That's a really fun card. The Magician. Which one? Which one? You said it's a robot. Divine Hazel. Which one's a robot? Le Magician. The Cook's Tarot. Magician is the first card, and it's Mercury. I'm guessing I know what your question was, Danny. And as always in this deck, my card is the Magician, and because it's controlled by Mercury, well, not controlled, but its affinity is Mercury. It's a chef, magician. You've got a picture, a knife, a dish, and a rolling pin. It represents the cups, the swords, the pentacles, and the wands. The magician pulling the powers of the universe towards him, as above, so below. Yeah. True alchemy involves a sense of rightness and timing. Trust your instincts. Test the temperature of the air as well as the oven. That's a fun one. And let me get let's see, David, I'll get you your card now. Here you go. You got your quest Zion, your quest ions. Say, oh, that's the one right in the middle of the deck. That was your answer. Ooh. The third card. The Empress. And the Empress in this deck. Let's see. Let's see what these Russians had to say about the Empress. The Virgin and the Baby. Work destined to last, prosperity, and revelation. So prosperity. Uh, hey Dan, you said maybe I should scroll. I scrolled through it. I didn't see you talking here. I haven't. Is that what you're saying? I've been scrolling through. Oh, you're saying I didn't catch up fast enough. Yeah, I'm trying to get there, man. Nathan Lopez. Here you go. I hope you have a card already or a question. And you know, I mean, if you ever want, if anybody's new to this, you can ask out loud, and I could decipher it further for you. But most everybody here has a little bit of knowledge, and I can say the few words that are connected to this deck, and it should give you a pretty good reading. But if you had a question and you didn't know what you were getting, there's your answer, which is the 8th card of the Major Arcana. Sword in the left hand, and what's in the right hand? Which is Justice. And in this deck, I mean, they're all going to be pretty similar, but the 8th card is connected to the Archangel Michael. Oh, I love sneezing. It's fucking wonderful. Sometimes I'll just snort. Sometimes I'll just snort pepper just so I can sneeze. The Archangel Michael, triumph of justice, fair evaluation, and respecting hierarchies. That's your answer. Blooming Goddess, my email, if you ever wanted to, is beneath most of my videos, but everybody should already know it here. It's theoluminous at Gmail. TheoluMinous at Gmail. The Sirius Abbas giant has a huge boner. Google the image. It's mad funny. Awesome. I'll check that out. Yeah, it doesn't have to be a face pic. It can be a picture of your butthole, your feet, an elbow and knee, another picture altogether. Butthole pictures are the best. Sometimes I just put my brown eye up there too, but it's usually this one. Tis this one. What's up, Katie in the universe? How are you doing? We're playing with tarot for a little while here. It has evolved to tarot reading. Just playing around with a couple decks right now. But I'm going to use this other deck now that I've gotten Danny's card out of the way. We'll play again with, you know what? Maybe I'll get the, what's up, Loomis? You were just playing with yours? Yeah. You were just playing with your what? You were playing with your deck? A little tarot humor. I'm blooming. This is a family. I know this is family oriented, obviously. This is the only obviously. So who am I? Dreams of Gaia. Is that your deck? The Dreams of Gaia deck? I've never seen that before. I'll have to check it out. I'm gonna pull out of this funny deck that I don't really use before. So hey, Blooming Goddess, you want another card? Is that what you're saying to me? Are these the words that you were saying? Because I want to use these ones. these are a lot of fun. So I might take a little break here because let me see. Let me check out the weather outside real quick. Oh, the sun is coming out. Yeah, I might make my way down to the beach. The only reason I came on here actually was to charge my phone, and I got a couple emails I got to read, and so check it out. I got like give me like 10. I got 10 more minutes for you guys, and then I'm gonna go to the beach, and maybe I'll do a little show from the beach or from this really nice beach bar, hotel beach resort bar that I go to. Chill out there. Maybe I'll do some tarot from there. Whisper words of wisdom. Should they be whimsical? I'm born to be alive. Well, thank you for the hugs. I appreciate it. And Cloud913. Yes, you can get a card. And I'll give you from this deck here. I think I've shuffled them properly. Let's see. I feel like bury that first one. Do you have your question in mind? Your answer is, oh, fun. The Chariot. Seventh card of the Major Arcana. That's a lot of fun. The Chariot. Now this doesn't have a set of instructions with it, so you kind of just dealing with the standard ideas of what the Chariot would mean, and it's connected to Cancer, and it's connected to, let's see, proceed with whatever you're doing at full speed. Just fucking do it, but be prepared to step aside. Basically, just means to run through shit and do whatever the fuck, whatever you're thinking. That's probably the right choice. Cancer is like they're doing it. They got a hard shell around them, and they get through things. It's a forceful card. Forward motivation, forward movement, self motivation, but self control. On one hand, confidence and determination. On the other hand, it's a sense of knowing when to step aside. It's more so, going through things, but yeah. It is time for decisive action in whatever you're doing. Don't be mealy-mouthed. Don't sit on the fence. Make a choice. If something's non-productive, you have to choose a path. A lot of people really need this card in their life. A lot of people, they are too passive and sit on the fence about everything. So there you go. Hopefully that helps you with what you need to do. You need to pick one of the two options. If you present it with, like, I don't know, maybe a job or two chicks or two dudes or whatever the fuck you're doing. I don't know. Maybe a school to go to, or maybe it's as something as simple as you got choosing dinner, what you want to eat for dinner. Yeah, that might be as simple as that. Peace out, Jude. Right on cloud 9. What do you, hey Danny, what are you talking about? What you want to elaborate on? Some of these can kind of get out of order a little bit, Danny. What are we talking about when I pulled the magic card out? Are you asking me? Do you want to elaborate on what? Pull a card for you, alive and awake? Sure. Do you want the Cook's Tarot, or you want this fun deck? I mean, they're both fun. Do you want the big shiny one? Yeah, I ain't gonna Blooming Goddess. I only, like, one-on-one. I'll do more in-depth tarot reading. Sometimes if I make the show just about that, I'll pull out 3 cards for people and give them a deeper thing. But for now, we're just kind of playing around with one card a little bit, just singular questions and ideas. You always like big shiny things. Okay, and it's the big shiny motherfuckers. Here we go. The big shiny motherfuckers. A little more feminine energy in these things. Interesting though that they're so big that you can't shuffle them the regular way. You have to, you can't really get in, you know? It's kind of funky. So you kind of got to, you know, shuffle them around. Very witchery. It's very sticky. Okay. Do you have your question and query in mind? I'm just going to take it right off the top. I ain't even going to bury one this time. And it is a judgment. That's fun. She got a blue ribbon and a cake, eating a slice of cake, listening to some jazz music. Let's see what else is going on here. Yeah, the blue ribbon's interesting. So judgment in this deck, according to Judith Mackey Sturt, and there we go, the 20th card of the major arcana, Pluto. Pluto is associated with the invisibility cape, as well as, well, is it a planet? Is it not a planet? You know, they're tricking you with that, but it's because Pluto can be invisible. And interestingly enough, it's inspired by the destruction of the city of New Orleans and the subsequent rebuilding of it. A woman is smiling as she holds up a decorated cake, and she has a blue ribbon by a man wearing a suit, presumably a judge giving the blue ribbon to her. A cordon bleu, or blue ribbon, was given the highest order of chivalry to the Knights of the Bourbon Kings. The cake is a symbol of celebration. Trumpet is all about heralding in new life. The card's meaning is, as Pluto is supposedly the farthest away, it's associated with the underworld. This is why it can be invisible, because people don't, you know, we forgot about the underworld. We forgot about what goes on beneath. And it involves making a decision about something or leaving something behind and moving forward. You're given a second chance to do something. You can look back and come to terms with things. It's also connected to guilt and shame and the shadow side of self. So liberate yourself from old habits by throwing out everything that does not fit into who you want to be. So hopefully that's cool. Yeah, on 15 days of no crapping. That was a good sneeze, dude. Did you hear those sneezy little dog? Oh, she's doing the thing the dogs do. It's fucking my favorite. She gets on her back and just starts like haranguing herself. Yeah, yeah. The when you take it as if other people's judgment of you is your own judgment of yourself. Yeah, man. And not everybody's to work on. I think that's why Pluto is a very interesting. You know, how recently were we told that it's not really a planet, and then it was a planet, and then it's not a planet. You know, it has so much to do with the underworld and the shadow self. I've always said it. I've always said it. I don't give a fuck what anybody else says. I dig Pluto. I dig the underworld, the invisibility, and all that shit. And that's what large amounts of awesomeness will do. Digging in and subconscious, digging in your own subconscious realms. What do you want? You want some snacks? Let me go snack this dog out, and then I'll give you guys 10 more minutes. I always do this. I'll give you guys to 3 hours and 33 minutes and 33 seconds. Let's go real hard with the threes today. even realize it's like 2:30. Let's see what's going on here. It's kind of shiny out there. Good. Perfect timing. Alive and awake, wicked man. Where are you coming from? What part of the area? Leon, maybe your balls need some relief. Yeah. What's up, Nathan? Lopez? I beg your pardon, lady. You out in Maine? That's funny. Right when how funny is that when I said I'm going to make this video 3 minutes and 33 seconds and 33 seconds long. I go over to the kitchen, it's 2:33 here, so obviously it's 3:33. Interesting, huh? Michigan? How far are you going to ride south? You're going to get all the way to the Gulf? Gulf. It's funny, I've been, this hazel has been an interesting thing. There's been, the word hazel has been popping up in my life. I got this witch's hazel the other day with like coconut water in it for the dog. She had some like itchy skin because she got bathed after going into like a scummy ass lake. It's like like a runoff from the lake. And so I got this witch's hazel. And then I was like looking at a restaurant the day after. I was just looking for a restaurant to go to, and it's like Cafe Hazel, and I was like, that's so fun because before that I was like, oh, maybe I need to meet a witch named Hazel, and this cafe named Hazel popped up, and then that's very funny. Hazel. Yeah. I don't know why that just popped up again in my head, but because I was looking at this bottle of witch hazel that is actually fantastic for the skin. I'm a monk, I levitate. Yeah, here, dog needs to go to the ocean. Yeah, I can't take her to the ocean. There's the dog. Well, there's a dog park that has. I mean, I take her right over to the sound side. She goes out in the water, but there's like a runoff from it that is like it's just stagnant and stinky. But I can't take. I'd have to go to. I'd have to go south of, or excuse me. I'd have to go very far west of here, and she wouldn't want to walk that far, because dogs aren't really allowed on the beach here. There is a dog beach though that I can take her to on the sound side. Yeah, dude, this stuff here is pretty awesome. It's called witch hazel with aloe vera and coconut water. It's pretty awesome. There's no alcohol in it, so it doesn't dry your skin out. It's very good for toning the skin, and it smells like the the coconut that everybody wears when they go to the beach. Mix that with a little piss, fucking awesome. What's up, Matt Jones? Let me go sure my doggy has enough water. You need some more water, puppy? There you go. So who else in here? What's up? well, alive and awake. If you get down to the Gulf and get down to New Orleans or the beach, depending on, it comes to hello, man. Especially, I'll probably be back in New Orleans pretty soon. I don't know how long I'll spend here. Probably until I get a really nice dark tan and clean my pineal gland out and all of that. Get a nice amount of ocean time, and then I can be able to go back up in New Orleans with a little more energy, because that city is quite a energetic, fluxing place of energy fluxing. Hi. What? Is sigil magic dark magic? I'm not catching the second part of what you're saying. If you will, for instance, to find a dollar on the ground, someone lost it, you change society in some way. That doesn't make it dark or light. You should check out the video I made on black and white magic and left and right-handed paths. They're the same magic. The end point is exactly the same. So I don't find a problem with either of them. One is magnetic and one is electric. One is feminine, one is masculine. One is internal, self-driven, and one is external, like help the others. You have to be in service to self to be in service to others. So they work together. So black and white magic, I don't find a problem with either of them. Just you can use black magic for good, and you can use white magic for stupidity. There's plenty of self-proclaimed white witches that are completely inadequate, like not using the magic properly. And there's plenty of people that they would claim to be very dark occult magicians that do a lot of good. So I don't find a problem with either of them. I would say if you really wanted to get well informed about magic, and by the way, somebody wouldn't have had to lose that. They could have placed it there. Let me just put that in there. I put things all. I don't lose a dollar. I'll throw money all across the place. I throw currency everywhere. I'm throwing currency out right now. Now, if I did it in a physical format with a talisman's idol, such as a dollar, I could do that. Doesn't mean I lost it. And if you really want to just get into it and stop using dualistic forms of magic, you would find full spectrum magic, which doesn't delineate between black and white. You would call it, you would use like a 9-color magic system, because black and white are not opposing, they're complementary, and they're within the color spectrum. So there's not 7 colors in the color spectrum, there's 9 base colors, and then you go from there. Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet, black, and white. Those are all colors. So you just find, people do blue magic, don't they? If you're a Republican, you're doing blue magic. Yes. You're Democrat using red magic, yeah? Yeah. You work for certain, you work for McDonald's, you're using some yellow and red magic, huh? So you're working on the different chakras. So your magic using, if you make music, you're working on chakras, and you're using, while you don't consider them colors, they're certainly full spectrum frequency magic. Now, if you listen to one kind of music, you're only in one chakra. If you listen to music that uses multiple tones, you can get through all the chakras. If you use colors, then in all the spectrums, you'd be using full spectrum magic. Leo, I mean, so be it. Yeah. I hear you, but no, I don't, he's not somebody I follow. You know, he's he's chatted with me a couple times. Like, he's come to my channel a couple times. I said, what's up? That's cool. I mean, here's what I can say about that. He's helped people out. You know what I mean? I mean, if you didn't notice, like, the whole thing, if you didn't notice it to begin with, like, well, but you can't, I don't care. See, that goes in the black and white magic. Like, he might have been using black occult magic, but, there's plenty of people he certainly helped out. So I don't, fucking do whatever you want, bro. If even people that even people that attempt to do a bad deed, even if that was his intentions was negative or uh, you know it had a positive outcome. So nonetheless, yeah, so you got that, Matt Jones. That all makes sense. I got some of my earliest videos. You'll find really deep explanations of magic, sigil work, especially. And you asked me about sigil work. I have probably 6 videos on sigils, uh, expressly, uh, how to design them, how they work with clocks, um, how they're formed, what they're responding to, and furthermore, getting into beyond sigils, you have like I'm sure you've seen um, Rick and Morty. So you know the Meeseeks, you know the Meeseeks, or if you look at like say the Minions and the Meeseeks are the same thing. You can design those out too. And there's also, stepping up. There's God forms, and there's tulpas, but you don't really play with tulpas. That's a bad idea. I would never suggest that to anybody, so I don't really speak about it too often. But I give explanations for what all those things are and how they work in a hierarchy of magical systems. And most of that is from like not this last December, but December prior, December, January, February. You find a lot of videos right around that time. Yeah, Blooming, it is a lot of fun. There's a lot of goofiness, a lot of fun, a lot of. I like to put it this way: I don't know if you've seen Norb's theory, Norb's world, Norb's theory on what the flat Earth is and the realm we live on and what it actually looks like. I highly suggest that video. But there's one part in it he talks about that throughout your day you should be interacting with different frequencies, so that way you have a larger palette to work with. And so most of the time, like for me, I'm in my own like little space and frequency. I'm an introvert. But if people really want to go out and like do the whole thing, like we're gonna just fucking wild out. That's different. Like if somebody comes up to me and is like, hey, I need some help and I'm healing, then we just go in that direction. So, as I said before, if you're ever interested, come to New Orleans and come down to the beach. If you want like specific healing work done, come to the beach, do healing work. Or if you want to fucking wild out and do some crazy ass fun shit, come to New Orleans. I mean, we could do healing work in New Orleans too, but sub awakening G. Well, Matt Jones, trap versus EDM is way well different things. EDM is full spectrum most of the time. Obviously you can get into trance, which will put you in a trance, literally, trance music and shit like that. EDM for the most part can be pretty opening for chakras and, you know, adjust things. There's some really good DJs that know that they're doing electronic, musical, shamanistic work. They're all doing it anyways, but most of them realize they're doing it. Not most of them, some of them realize they're doing it. And then there's just really good DJs that are really, jumping through all of the chakras and the energies. As far as trap music, I mean, look at the frequencies. It's the same. It's somewhat similar to anything on the radio. You're within that bandwidth of that station. You ain't gonna listen to country music on a hip hop station. It ain't gonna happen, because it's only opening up a bandwidth within your body, within your knowledge base too. So consider it that way. You listen to heavy metal music. Heavy metal, it makes people sick. There's no way. There's no two ways about it. It can be healing to some things. It can break things that need to be broken. But heavy metals. Well, if you put heavy metals in your system, you're going to be fucking sick. And if you look at the frequencies they're using in heavy metal, those frequencies are going to line up with heavy metals. So I don't suggest that, but some people do. Some people like it. Some people want to get in the, they want to fucking headbang and boogie. If that's your thing, and it's fun for you, do it. I'm never, I don't take that away from anybody. You want to eat meat, you want to go headbang, and it's part of the experience. But as far as like being healthy and balanced and shit, not really. You can see what it does to water. It's not a healing thing. It doesn't organize things. It's a disorganization effect, which again can be good. Like it's very Shiva, which is destroyer. So, but there is a point to using that, just not for most people, I think. Oh, that's why I brought up Hazel again because Divine Hazel came up in here. That's why. Of course, Matt Jones, Bloodlines, Brown Eyes. My eyes are not brown. Maybe. Maybe they are sometimes. They're changing colors right now. This one's changing colors. Here, will this change it? Well, that's it, just the digital screen. Or is it my eyes? Mm-hmm. I like your leg. It looks very good on you. I wouldn't want to have to chop that off and cook it and eat it. Right on, blooming goddess. What's up, Nick Durstein? Oh, how long did that take? I was already before fasting, before my long fast. The first long fast I did was in 2000 and 2008, maybe. I don't remember exactly. Maybe a little longer than that. 2006, 7, 8, somewhere in there. That was when I did my 40-day fast, and there was very intense things that happened there, dream wise. But even before that, I'd already known enough about health, and I'd already had some interesting experiences with dream worlds and astral projection. Not that much, but and you don't need to do a 40-day fast. There's all sorts of ways to cleanse your body and still get out of body quicker, and basically it just has to do with hydrating your brain and decalcifying the pineal gland. People use that. That's just rehydrating the brain is the most important part. Um, so it just depends on you. It depends on where you're starting, how hydrated you are, how messy your body is internally, how much garbage you have to take out of the body, not to get stuck in really strange subconscious realms. Because if you have a dirty system and you open your pineal glands, you ain't gonna have a good time at all. This is, it's like everybody want to pop their pineal gland open, but they don't realize, how many other glands you have in your body. You pop open your third eye and it starts looking over your entire body. And now it sees this broken thing over here, this broken thing over here, and now you want to get out of body and go to that realm. You're going to go to one of those realms of those glands, which are connected to one of the planets, the moving bodies of energy. Now you're in that planet, and you're going to see the dirtiest, most disgusting things there, and that might freak you the fuck out. You don't want to see those characters, those kind of beings. So it's always healthier to clean your body out first before you pop this shit open. See, this even gets into top down. I mean, you can do it either way, or bottom up. Do you build from the bottom or you build from the top? Now, if you crack your pineal gland open first, you're going to see demonic things because all the rest. But if you have a guide that says, "Don't worry about those things," now it's just showing you fix that, which means you see a demonic thing that's connected to, say, your so you got your pineal gland. Let's go through the face. You got your different glands in the face, and you got your thyroids, right? You got your gland here. Now all of a sudden that's connected to Jupiter. I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's connected to a planet. And all of a sudden you go to this dirty ass connection to that energy center, which is an organ pulsing, and it's not pulsing the right shape, which is literally a frequency. That's what you're going to see. You're going to see an improper frequency. But if you know that's what you're going to see, you can handle it. But I would suggest clean the body first and then build from the bottom up. Because then whenever you get this thing lit up, then you don't have to see stupid shit. Then you can blast off and your body is clear, and you don't have to deal with the underworld in the same way. You deal with the underworld and the physical, sludgy, taking a shit, feeling like garbage while you're here right now. Oh yeah, you're not going to feel great. You know, would you rather deal with that, like just like, oh, my body's tired, or do you want to deal with like literally looking at a fucking demon across from you, like out of body? Most people don't want that. That will take them away from wanting to experience all of the other, all of the other realms, which is, obviously internal. Everything inside of you is what's outside of you, and what you see and what you can project. So again, cleaning up the body first, getting the organs clean, clean the bowels, then clean the liver and the gallbladder, then clean the kidneys, and then you can start going through, and now that's going to be able to release all of the rest of the organs of toxins and sludge and shit, and then you can start getting your pineal gland to work properly. Does that make sense? Oh man, I missed the 333 answering that question. That's okay. I didn't want anybody to think I was all sort of Freemasonic or whatever the fuck, throwing up gang signs and shit. Oh no, he did it. Fucking the horns. Oh no. I seen him. He did this, or is it like that, or is it like that? Oh no, and somebody's gonna one day say that I did all that shit and be like, well, he's fucking. Obviously, he's a Mason. He's part of the Illuminati. There's, it's a personal thing to be illuminated internally. That's what basically really seeing vision, having vision, not sight. Vision from your third eye is being illuminated. That's what that means. So you can see your dreams and walk in your dreams and work within your dreams differently, including this realm. Don't Mercury. Mercury Mercury was the least of my troubles during all of these retrogrades. I dealt with a bunch of right in front of me retrogrades, but because Mercury is my ruling planet, it should give me the most problem. But I was like, nah, we ain't gonna have that. We good. Tom Lemon, what are shooting stars? I'd seen a bunch of them the other night, and I get the feeling that that's literally someone's astral body jumping through into this dimension from what you'd call an outside of the toroidal, what I believe to be a toroidal field of energy that allows the separation of dimensions, meaning this Earth realm plane that has a toroidal field around it, and inside of it is literally the first planet of you have your sun and moon inside of here, and then the other things are outside of it, and I think they're going through portals. I think those shooting stars, they're starting somewhere, and I think they're starting through a star system. Meaning, if my home star system is Arcturus, I can dip back out to Arcturus with this body that way. Or if I'm on Arcturus, I could come into here. And I think that's what a shooting star is. But I can't really claim that to be true or not. I don't know. And even if I did know, how would you believe me? You would have to do it yourself. I think there's probably people that do know, for sure. Maybe even people that are on here that just won't comment. But I think that's pretty close. All right, Matt Jones, enjoy, man. And if you're still here, man, the earliest stuff is more of just me talking and teaching, and then it develops into different kinds of talks, philosophical, psychological, et cetera, and then it turns into these kind of things where I'm just fucking goofing off with people and doing different types of magic and tarot work and health things. You'll see the development of the talks. Synced up, wakes you up at 3:33 a.m. That's interesting. The awakening of the brown eye. Is that did you really say that, awakening of the brown eye? So let me see. It's almost 3 o'clock here, and I do want to get to the beach. I do need a little bit more suntan. Maybe I'll bring a deck with me, and I'll turn my phone on there and do a. It just depends on how windy it is. I can't ride my bike that far. We'll see. But it's been fun. I guess I'll give you guys 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. Last call at the bar before I bounce out of here. What are you doing, dog? And doggo wants more attention. Yeah, Blooming Goddess, your responses are all over the place on how quickly they're coming here. Like sometimes I don't know why that's working that way. It happens sometimes after the live show. These are never like linking up with where they came on here. They never are. I know sometimes I get behind, but the link up is never in the right order. So you the last two that you just said, awakening the brown eye, laugh my ass off. I said that a long time ago, and that's just jumping up. I'm going to remember that one, and I said that like you're getting a little yeah. So I don't know. I'm not in control of all that. Yeah, advanced occult adepts doing it consciously. Sure, I mean it's got to be. I mean, the think of the quicker you work with your consciousness to get anything done, right? It only works the same way in spiritual realm too. And by say spiritual realm, everything is spiritual here. This is spiritual. The dog's spiritual, like the whole experience is. But using the etheric, let's use that etheric body or the astral body or the body that sits inside of your spacesuit, right? That working from that place, um, and the astral realms and all that stuff. Yeah, conscious focus and attention to those kind of things. Uh, yeah, Leo, give me 1 second. How about a eating melons only cleanse? Yeah, that's perfect. Melons are going to work for your head, and if you're a chick, obviously they do a lot of help with mammary glands and tissues in your breasts. You can help out breast cancer with that, but the main thing is think about how hydrated your brain should be. Should be about 93 to 97% water. Most melons are between 93 and 97%. If you knock on a melon, it sounds like just like your head. And it's pretty much, you look inside and there's like the seeds in the middle, and it has a very, walnuts and walnut oil is the same thing. Walnut looks like a brain, two hemispheres. The oils from the walnuts are great for your brain, and you can make walnut milk, which is excellent idea. And melons, yeah, a melon fast is a great idea, whether you're just eating it or juicing it, because melons like it's easy to digest, whether you make juice out of it or you consume it. Watermelons, I've been eating a lot of honeydew because I love honeydew right now. Cantaloupe is nice. Watermelons is great. Watermelons is awesome. Yeah. And Nick Durstein, of course, man. Uh, yeah. Okay. Hey, Leo, let me. Yeah. The water is gonna the melons will hydrate you faster and better than distilled water will. So if you want to be hydrated, you'll hydrate yourself better with melons. Okay. Water will help you cleanse quicker because distilled water is looking for something to pull out of your body. It's not necessarily going to hydrate you. This is why people don't feel hydrated when they're using distilled water. A lot of people don't. But what they're confused at is they're not hydrated because they have a lot of garbage in their body that are trying to get out of their body. So they need to piss more, they need to shit more, and they're releasing a lot more toxins. That's why they're not really getting as hydrated as they should. After you've eliminated everything, distilled water will hydrate you, absolutely. But up until that point, the extra elements within the melons and whatever are they're bringing nutrition and energy into the body, and it will hydrate the body better. And especially the best way to hydrate the brain, though, between melons and distilled water, is pure, clean water is going to end up going into your spine and getting, basically pushed up into your brain. This is why people that have Alzheimer's, I guarantee their diets did not include any water, especially not distilled water and definitely not urine. And Alzheimer's is basically a function of the brain having sludge in it and the lymphatic system of the brain not cleaning the brain out because it was too dehydrated. And so to hydrate the brain, you'd want to do a lot of inversions and a lot of melons and water, distilled water. Yeah. So here you go. Hey, Leo, which deck you want? You want the Tsar deck? Give me 1 second, puppy. What? I got you. You want some? You want some head rubbings? You want some snackies? Hey, let me go get this dog a little more snacky because she I know she wants a second meal, but I ain't gonna feed. Oh, you want the cooks? Okay, I got you. Here, you have some more sweeties. What other kind of cooks deck? Okay. What's up, Galen Varld? How are we doing? All right, Leo. Let me clean that up. There you go. There's your card right there. Is that the one? No, let's do this one more time. You already got your question, I'm sure. Is your birthday card? Okay. Birthday cards. Hey! This seems about right for your birthday. Doing something foolish? Let's see if you can see that there. It's so shiny, it even takes it off of there. The shiny card. There it is. The Fool. Let's see what it says about what she's doing here. The Fool is connected to Uranus. Dancing with joyous abandonment, which is obviously very birthday-esque. She's wearing dancing slippers and a skirt and balloons. Baking. Most of the sugar magically finds its way to nearby baskets and jars. How you have confidence. The confidence of the youth. Fun, alchemically connected to unrefined sugars to dispel evil influences. There is joy in cooking when you do not fear the failure. So it's very, very connected to cooking and alchemy. The Fool's Journey, huh? It starts the transition of a hugely transformative cycle. Yeah. Take a lesson from sugar, try not to spill things, and don't overthink. Yeah? Is that good? Does it sound pretty good? Perfectly my favorite thing to do. Of course, man. I had a pitbull friend called Charlie. Yeah. What's up, Galen? Pluto is very real. It's affecting the whole, yeah. Your sun is Scorpio? Wait, are you saying Pluto is your sun sign and Scorpio is your ascendant and Venus is in Libra? I think hey blooming goddess, I think some of the I don't know I could read that right. What is your sun and what is your ascending? Put those two. I mean the most important are obviously sun, ascending, and then moon. Oh, you're Sagittarius sun. Okay, Scorpio. Sun Scorpio. Huh. Okay, and moon's in Capricorn. So your sun is Scorpio, rising is Venus. So you show Venus, you show very womanly things, and then moon hidden is stubbornness, and sun is Sag. Interesting. Yeah, Scorpios have been Scorpios and Sagittarius have been a big influence on my life, the feminine ones. Um, yeah, interesting. All right, y'all. It has been a lot of fun, and while I'd like to do some more of this, I really want to get to the beach, and I can maybe we can maybe um, reconvene in a little while when I get there. You can just put a Q-tip up your nostril and keep sneezing. Well, I don't want to be too forceful with it, but no, I enjoy the sneezes when they come. So check it out, y'all. It's been fun. I hope y'all had a good time. As always, be inspirational to yourself, and if you can, pet some fucking animals and have a joyous day, or don't. That's always an option too. Remember, it's all up to you. It's all your journey. I'm gonna go play with this dog and take a dump. I think that would be nice. Keep your ass clean. Get yourself a bidet. You'll enjoy it. Cool. Maybe we'll talk in a little while. We'll see. Peace out, y'all.